What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live hangout vid. All right, got a lot of things to catch up here, guys. I know I've been away for a minute, even though it's been maybe about a week or so. But even if you've been away for that long, you're missing a lot of stuff when it comes to the sport of boxing. First things first, let me go over before I get into the topics that's been titled in this hangout. I forgot to include the Clarissa Shields and Tori Nelson fight that took place yesterday on Showtime Extreme. If those of you in the United who's living in the United States know that it was the fight was televised on Showtime Extreme, and she was making her first defense of her unified super middleweight titles against Tori Nelson. Now, mind you, Tori Nelson is moving up in weight, and she's never been defeated. She was undefeated. She was coming in with a record of 17-0. I think with one draw and only two KOs. Um, the fight was pretty interesting. Clarissa Shields definitely dominated the fight from the start to the end. She, had her way with her. But what a lot of people did expect from her, what people did expect from her to do was to knock out the smaller girl, which didn't happen. And there's a reason why Tori Nelson never got put down in any of her fights or never got stopped, obviously, because well, she was undefeated, but she never got put down either because she has a very good, incredible chin. So her chin it was very phenomenal. And Clarissa Shields does hit hard though, she does, but she doesn't really have that concussive knockout punch. She can bother you. She can stab you when she throws. When she leads in with her, especially when she throws those lead rights. I mean, they do have some snap in those on those shots, whatnot. And all I can say is that Tori Nelson actually was trying to paw with and play with Shields too, and saying that look, your punches are not affecting me at all. You know, so yeah, she wasn't really giving Shields no respect. She tried to pressure her, but what Shields did show to me, even though she did knock her out, she did show that she can fight in many other ways. She was able to fight off the back foot. She was able to fight up at close quarters, which is something that we knew that Shields can do, but we didn't see her apply too much technicality. Whenever she fights in close quarters or get into the ropes, she tries to slug it out just to get off the ropes, which is, yeah, sometimes you have to do that to get your opponent off of you. But she shows she could put shots together and apply technique when she's pinned that when she's put in that situation. So she showed a multiplicity of skills, and she also shows that she can actually go the distance, full 10 rounds. Now, mind you, this fight was a 10 rounder, 2 round, 2 minute per round, the which is the which is the standards when it comes to women's boxing. I mean, the fight maybe should have been 12 rounds, but who knows? I do know that Christina Hammer was there at ringside. She was supposed to fight on that undercard, but she got pulled off. I don't know why. I didn't really read too much into why that situation came about. Maybe it was an injury. I don't know. But she was there at ringside to watch the fight. Well, honestly, I don't think it was an injury because if it was an injury, why would she show up and be in ringside? Who knows? I mean, it's a possibility. But anyhow, very good to step up win for Shields. I mean, she was in there against a veteran, a person who was in there who's been on the block for a while, Tori Nelson. I mean, Tori Nelson is 41 years old. But she did show durability, and so did Shields. Shields took some of her shots too, but Shields definitely got a good chin as well. And she was obviously a much bigger woman, so yeah, a very good win. Of course, I know Carissa wasn't, she was trying to knock her out at the end of the fight, but uh, the one thing I would say is that sometimes she does get a little sloppy when she tries so hard to knock out her opponents. I mean, sometimes when you step up in competition, especially in your early of your career, especially when it comes to women's boxing, yeah, it gets tough. I mean, look at Kaylee Taylor, look at Chantel Cameron, look at Cecilia Brackets. Obviously, she's been around for a long time, but it is what it is. So good with Carissa. Definitely want to see her in there with her in that fight with Christina Hammer because I think that's going to be a damn good fight. And Christina Hammer is definitely a much better pro than Tori Nelson and Nikki Adler. Much better pro and much more seasoned, much more skilled. So that's definitely to me, that looks like an evenly skilled fight. Now, the thing is that Christina Hammer maybe hits a bit harder than both Adler. Well, Adler was known to be a puncher, but she didn't really show any skills though. But I would say though, she obviously Hammer is a much better fighter than Tori Nelson. But the thing is, does she have the power to gain Carissa Shields' respect? That I don't know. But we have to see once that fight gets made. But anyways, let's move on to some other stuff. So the important things. Let me get on to this whole WBC situation with the Donna Stevenson and Lydia Alvarez. Okay, let me start with Lydia Alvarez. Lydia Alvarez. Oh, by the way, what's going on, Joe Host and Kiwi? What's going on, brothers? K Black is in the chat. What's going on, fellas? Kind of light today, but it's all good. It's probably earlier. It's probably late on the other side of town. But starting to Lydia Alvarez, he pulled out of the purse bid. On the purse bid against Alexander Vosdick. Okay, this comes off the announcement. This stems from the announcement that the WBC had came out that they have decided to resolve the situation with Stevenson and Alvarez. They've decided to give Adonis Stevenson an exemption to fight Badu Jack. So they decided to give him the exemption to fight Badu Jack, which also means they sanctioned that fight. And also ordered Elite Alvarez to go ahead and fight in another eliminator, which he would have to put his mandatory status on the line against Alexander Vosdick. Now, mind you, Vosdick was scheduled to fight an eliminator, not a final eliminator, to fight an eliminator against Marcus Browne, and Marcus Browne pulled out of that fight. Okay, so Elite Alvarez does the same thing. And the reason why he did it is, well, let's say he, but his management did it because they felt that they received the short end of the stick here. Okay, they said, look, we put up our mandatory status for about 3 or 4 consecutive fights now. We can't continue to be doing that, so that's why they pulled out. Okay, now let's be fair here, though. I'm gonna be fair here. Elite Alvarez is equally to blame for this whole situation because why in the world are you continue to take step aside deals, whether it's a fee or whether it's an increase in your purses for your next upcoming bouts? Why in the world are you continuing to do that? You should have pressed that fight to be made. And this is what Mauricio Suleiman has stated in his latest statement that he put out 2 days ago. Okay. Now the WBC, I'm gonna get on their asses too because Suleiman wants to wash his hands for this whole situation, how this whole thing is falling apart. Okay. He's saying that I'm gonna bring up the quotes here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna bring up that article because he's pissing me off here too. But at the same time, he makes some good points. Okay. So Mauricio Suleiman says, look, I'm not going to take blame for what's going on with the WBC in the light heavyweight division, okay? So he's saying that is that Elite Alvarez did very little to press the issue and routinely stepped aside, allowed these Stevenson to make these voluntary defenses, which is true. But at the same time, you, Mauricio Suleiman, and your organization have given Stevenson so many freaking exemptions to not take his mandatory to defend his title against his mandatory. He's only defended his mandatory. He's only defended his belt against one mandatory for the last since 2013. That's the only time he's ever defended his belt against a mandatory. Okay, that's the WBC's. They're in fault for that situation because they should have told Stevenson not grant any more exemptions for him, which they initially thought they were going to do. Okay, I thought they were going to do earlier last year. They should have put their foot down and told Stevenson, no more exemptions. You got to fight your mandatory. Now, if your mandatory refuses to take the fight, then yes, we'll go ahead and take restricted status from him. We'll grant you another mandatory. Okay, but they didn't do that, and that's the problem. So Stevenson continued to get these exemptions because he's been going around saying that Alvarez, there's no money to fight Elite Alvarez. Okay, he's not keen on fighting him. That doesn't mean he's scared of Alvarez. But what it seems to me is that Stevenson is trying to find easier route to make more money and keep his title, and then trying to cash out against Badu Jack. Okay, because he is about to be 41 years old. I get what he's doing. He's trying to cash out for a big fight. Okay, fine, so be it. But at the same time, he's partially at fault here for not allowing this to happen, for allowing the situation to get out of hand. Now you got other contenders in the WBC rankings that are fed up about this because they're feeling they feel as if, wait a minute, why would we continue to be held back over these two guys holding up the division. They're holding up the WBC 175 ranking division. If this continues, these guys are going to opt out of their rankings and say, you know what, fuck that. We're going to go somewhere else and get ranked and get a title shot there. Okay. So, yeah, as far as Yvonne Michelle saying that Lydia Alvarez never took any step aside money, well, he may not have taken a step aside fee, but he definitely took a step aside deal, which did involve money, where he agreed to increases in the purses for future bouts. That's what he did. So step aside deals always involve money, whether it's a fee or whether it's an increase in your purse for future bouts. That's what a step aside deal is. Okay, so. All right, this thing is really getting out of hand, and they need to. I mean, it's, to me, let me just say this, and I saw 68 videos on it. Shout out to 68 Triumphant. To me, 68 makes some good points based off this situation. Why in the world would the WBC order a purse bid for Lydia Alvarez versus Alexander Vosdick? Why didn't they even offer any room to negotiate between the two camps? As soon as they sanctioned the fight, they said, or a purse bid is now ordered. What? What? I mean, to me, unless the other side of Alexander Vosdick's team immediately called for a purse bid, but there's no signs of that. The WBC decided to call the purse bid. That to me is kind of strange to me. Why would you call a purse bid for a fight that you just announced within 24 hours without giving both sides any time to negotiate? I can see why Alvarez's team pulled out, but at the same time, they're at fault for allowing the situation to get out of hand, just like Stevenson's at fault and just like the WBC. Okay, so all three parties are at fault here for allowing this mess to go get out of hand the way it is right now. And to me, and I have to agree with 68 on this one, why haven't we even got an announcement on Stevenson Jack? This has been a week now since the WBC has put out the announcement that they will sanction the fight. What's taking so long to negotiate? What's going on here? I mean, is the fight even going to be made? I mean, what's going on here? Because we saw the fallout with Alexander Vosdick and Lydia Alvarez. So it gives me the perception that this fight will not get made between Jack and Stevenson. I just don't believe it. What's going on, Rock, man? Rock 89 is in the chat. Kiwi, Ross Clot, my own boxing community overtaking the YTBC. Hey, man, whatever you say. Let's see. Yeah, man. So I had to say my piece on Stevenson Alvarez, man, with the whole WBC mess, man. I do hope that Stevenson Jack does get made, because let's not discredit the fact that fight is a good fight. It is, but at the same time, it just makes no sense to me that the Stevenson and Jack fight is an in-the-house fight, just like Alvarez and Stevenson. Why is it so difficult to get these fights done? Especially the fact that WBC has sanctioned that fight between Jack and Stevenson. No negotiations. We don't know the date. We don't even have a venue for that fight. What the hell is going on here? And again, it goes back to my point. It seems like every time there's a situation with Stevenson trying to get a big fight, it always falls through. It's like something is going on, whether it's his fault, whether it's somebody else's fault, but it just seems to be an unusual pattern. Okay. Now, remember, I have to refer back to this. Andre Ward got accused of being the biggest diva in boxing, which is laughable to me. Yeah, he may be a diva, but this guy was always getting big fights done. Why is it that Stevenson can't get big fights done? This makes no sense. And he's been a champion for nearly 5 years now. Okay, again, this is not Donna Stevenson is not entirely to blame here, but the blame has to be shared on all three sides: Alvarez, Stevenson, and the WBC. Okay, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say, man. And this is I just pray that the Jack and Stevenson fight gets made. I just pray. At this point, I just don't see what why is it? Hey, who knows? They might make an announcement this week coming up. I don't know, man. But I don't know, man. I'm just getting tired of talking about this. All I gotta say is look, just wake me up and let me know when this man starts to fight somebody. It's Lydia Alvarez. Again, you got to do something, man. You got to stop taking these step aside deals. I know Yvonne Michelle, basically, I forgot to mention, though, the Mauricio Suleiman is actually putting more of the blame on Yvonne Michelle rather than just Stevenson and Alvarez. He's putting more of the blame on him. So Yvonne Michelle got to figure this out, because the time is running out. He can't be getting any more exemptions to give Stevenson these damn easy fights and big paydays. He got to stop doing this. And I'm not saying that Badu Jack is an easy fight, but you get my drift. So yeah, man. Let me go to the comment section here. Nothing MBT boxing. What's going on, brother? Nothing's ever Stevenson's fault. Nothing. Facts. Yeah. Hashtag facts. K Black says it's Stevenson. It's always his fault. I mean, I would be. Let me just put it this way, K Black. I'll be fair here. I would say most of the time it's always, some for the most part, is Don Stevenson's fault why he's fought in obscurity. Yes, but there are some situations that's out of his control. Okay, we can always, I can, point back to certain factors. I'm not going to repeat that. I will give him the benefit of the doubt on some of those instances. But for the most part, he's the one who's kind of sabotaged his own career after winning that title from Jad Dawson. Had some good couple defenses against Tony Bellew and Tavoris Cloud. But other than that, his whole career has been pretty much obscurity ever since that Cloud fight. So, he's looked upon as, as I'm sorry to say, as a joke of a champion. I'm sorry. He's one of the most disappointing champions of today. It's a fact. And Stevenson doesn't care. I mean, look, he's made his millions of dollars. He's like, boxing is not exactly what he enjoys. He doesn't really enjoy the sport. He was in it for the money. I mean, yeah, you got to get paid because it's prize fighting, right? I mean, it's prize fighting. You got to get paid. That's cool. But at the end of the day, he could say, "Look, I preserved my health. I made millions of dollars. I can't. I don't give a damn about how they perceive me at the end of my career. I made my millions of dollars. I invested my money well into other ventures, and I'm happy." That's exactly what he's did. So hey, it is what it is. Let me see. Rock 89 says that Stevenson shitted on his own legacy. Yeah, I mean his own lineage. I mean, yeah, he did. He did. I mean, you gotta make something out of that lineal, that lineal title, man. Like Boxing Beats and Rhymes said, you got to make something out of it. Just because you're a lineal champion doesn't mean you get revered pretty highly. You got to make something out of that lineage, just like you got to make something out of being the alphabet holder of a title, of the recognized sanctioned body. So it is what it is. But let me move on to something else here, you guys. So Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz has been confirmed. March 3rd is the date. That's about almost 2 months away. Yes, I can tell you I'm very excited about that fight. So we're definitely going to see it with no interruptions this time. Finally, no interruptions, no hassles. So I hope Luis Ortiz learns his lesson from his last debacle from November, which I think he will. I think he did. So definitely we get to see this fight. And praise Deontay Wilder, man. Look, he could have said, you know what, I'm not fighting this guy no matter what, like he's done this in the past with guys like Alexander Povetkin, which rightfully so, he has his point to be concerned about guys testing positive, but he does want the fight regardless of the situation. So I got to give Deontay Wilder credit for that. But obviously, he's got to step in the ring with him. Luis Ortiz has got to step in the ring with Deontay Wilder as well. And then once that bell rings for the first round, it's on. So definitely happy about that fight. I know Charlie Brown and myself had talked about that. I mean, Charlie Brown is, he's Cuban descent. Obviously, he's he's a Luis Ortiz fan, rightfully so. He thinks Luis Ortiz is going to win the fight. I'm not mad at Charlie's prediction, but I do think that Deontay Wilder has the athleticism and the reach and the and the awkwardness and some of the skill to beat enough skill to beat King Kong Ortiz, man. Yeah, K Black Bond Squad versus King Kong. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably going to be one of the most exciting fights of what you call of what you call it. One of the exciting fights of 2018, in my opinion. So yeah, man, I really think that fight definitely is going to set off some fireworks, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So yeah, so let me just see if I can get some guys on here. Give me a second here. In fact, there we go. Oops, what did I do here? All right. Hold on, yo. Let me get this in. So definitely, I think, Luis Ortiz definitely is the more, he's more the technical skill fighter. He's had an extensive amateur background. He's got the pedigree. He definitely is going to pose a major threat in the test for Deontay Wilder. So Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. I really am. So yeah, I just can't wait for it to get down. So I'll just wait for it to happen. So we'll see, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see who else is here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna get some guys on here. All right, let's see what's going on in the comment section. All right, so Wilder-Ortiz. So Dillian White versus Lucas Brown is also confirmed in that same month too, on March 24th. Definitely, I think that's going to be a good one as well. I mean, definitely two heavyweights that's going to be slugging it out, but particularly Lucas Brown because in most of his fights they always turn out to be impactful and exciting. Now, as far as skill set is concerned, I think that what you call it, Dillian White would definitely have an upper edge on when it comes to skill set against Lucas Brown. He definitely has the reach. But Lucas Brown is a tough dude. So he's a very tough dude. So he's very dangerous, particularly when you hurt him. So he definitely has power. So that's something that Dillian White's cannot take lightly. I do expect Dillian White to win that fight, and because of the fact that he's been a little bit more active than Lucas Brown. But then again, don't count Lucas out, man. Lucas definitely poses a great threat to Dillian White. And then, obviously, if he does win that fight, could be considered a mild upset. So that would get Lucas back into the mix. So I definitely looking forward to that one as well. That's going down on March 24th. As far as Anthony Joshua and Deontay and Joseph Parker, that's about done. The last time I read, and Kiwi, you could probably chime in on this one. I think that Joseph is actually flying out from New Zealand to London to finalize the deal. So we should be expecting a joint press conference or a joint statement between both the Parker camps and the Joshua camps in about 24 hours, probably by tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. Um, money man. Wilder KO's Ortiz will be entertaining though. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that prediction, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because some people do believe that Wilder has the power and the respect to KO Ortiz. He does. So we'll see. We'll see on that. But it won't definitely be an easy fight for Deontay. Kiwi Box says that March is going to be a massive month for the heavyweights. I definitely agree, man. Definitely agree. Definitely gonna be a very, very good month for the heavyweight division. They desperately need that shot in the arm. So IBT says that lineal champ doesn't mean you're the best. Stevenson ain't fought shit in 4 years. Canelo's a lineal champ at 160 for almost 3 years. Never fought at 160 ever. Well, he did fight Golovkin, so yeah. Tyson Fury lineal for 2 years, and yeah, we all know what happened to Tyson Fury. We all know that. Uh, UK Fight Group, Casual Charlie. I mean, look, man, come on, man. Don't look, man. Don't be doing that to Charlie, man. Come on, man. Can we keep it respectful, please? Please. He's not here to defend himself at the moment, but please keep it respectful. All right, whoever you are. I mean, Jesus Christ, we all have disagreements here and there, but yeah, just keep it cool. All right, just keep it respectful. Let me see. Rob Gotti, Gary Russell on JoJo on the collision course. Easy work for Gary Russell. Yeah, I heard something about that, Rob. I heard that the what you call it, that JoJo's camp was now going to force the mandatory shot for Gary Russell because I heard Russell's team was trying to work out some type of step aside deal, and they said no, we're going to force the fight. So they're going to try to get Gary Russell to get in the ring with them. If he refuses, then he more likely is going to vacate his title. I hope Gary Russell does go along with the fight. He's going to have to defend that. Again, this goes back to the fact that mandatories cannot be ignored for such a long period of time. Yes, I can understand one instances when you're trying to pay it, one or two instances that maybe you're paying a step aside deal, but like after the second time, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Mandatories cannot continue to get ignored. They got to get their shots because they earned it. They've earned that right. So yeah. Hey, what's going on, 68? Yeah, let me go ahead and get you on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, man. But 68, what's your email address? Because I can only do it by email. I'll get you on that way. Let me see. Let me see. MBT says that I hope Brown wins, but I'm edging White. Yeah, same thing. I'm saying the same thing too. I like both guys. I really do. So to me, it's whoever the best man wins. But of course, I expect Dillian White to win that fight. Then again, Lucas Brown, if he wins, it'll be a mild upset, but it wouldn't really surprise me. So yeah. Let me see. Kiwi says, yeah, JP. Joseph Park should be landing in London very shortly. Yeah, he should. I think he's en route right now. 68. Let me try to get you in this way. Okay, hold on. We'll send it to you to your YouTube box. All right, cool. Do that so I can add you there. All right. Let me see. I love to see JP test AJ's chin at the press conference because we might have to reschedule the fight. That's enticing. That's enticing in a dangerous way, NBT. If a fighter does that, they will get fined, and better yet, they can get their license revoked. Because we've had that done in the past, like what Riddick Bowe did to Larry Donald, and Ross Thompson did that to Fernando Vargas. And Ricardo Mayorga has done that to a couple guys too. So you can't afford to hurt guys before they get into the ring. So that's particularly dangerous. So I think they've kind of, somewhat regulate that to, for the most part, say, hey, look, if any fighter engages to bodily contact, in physical dangerous contact before a sanctioned bout, then they can definitely get fined or suspended or get their license revoked. So I mean, I hope Joseph Parker don't do that, but because I definitely want to see the fight in the ring rather than outside the ring. So it is what it is. K Black says that Wilder-Ortiz versus Joshua Parker winner undisputed by summer 2018. Hey, I actually like that idea, man. I actually like that. I really like that. But as far as being in summer 18, highly unlikely, brother, but maybe fall the most. But if not fall, definitely spring or winter of next year. So yeah, we'll see. Kiwi Box says Joseph Parker won't lose his cool, man. Cool as a cucumber. I think that AJ is more likely to do that than Parker, but it's not also likely. Yeah, you know what? You hit the nail on the head on that one, Kiwi, because Anthony Joshua is one of those guys that well, he does have a bad temper for what I've read. He has a short fuse, but for the most part, Anthony Joshua has kept his cool. He's able to control that temper. So he's definitely managed. He's been able to manage it pretty well. So IBT says that put a glass wall in front of like Mayorga and Vargas. Yeah, I remember that they promoted that the brawl because I did recall that Fernando Vargas had gotten swiped at by Ross Thompson back in 1999, and Thompson busted Fernando's mouth and he was bleeding in that press conference. But let's not forget Ricardo Mayorga backslapped Fernando Vargas too in their first press conference too, which promoted that fight. I mean, that was a brutal, ugly promoted fight right there. What I mean by ugly, I mean that was typical from Ricardo Mayorga to do that to guys, getting under their skin, trying to play the mental game before the fight. He did that to De La Hoya. Of course, he did that to Forrest. He did that to Andrew Lewis. God rest their souls, Andrew Lewis and Vernon Forrest. He tried to do that to Corey Spinks. It's typical Mayorga. Typical. Um, so yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it occurs out. Kiwi says that some are speculating that the taunts from the Team Parker have got to AJ, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see. All right, brother. Okay, let me go ahead and get that for you. All right, cool. I got you. Okay. All righty. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, I got you, brother. So you got the invite. Just come on through. Okay, so let me go back to the comment section here. Um, Yeah, so definitely I'm looking forward to those fights, man. I just think that yeah, definitely March is going to be a very, very good, very good month for the heavyweights. I mean, from March until June, I think throughout the summer it would be a good, very good time for the heavyweight division. So definitely can't wait for those fights. I mean, damn, March cannot come any sooner, but Jesus Christ. Kiwi says there, I see Ruiz Jr. fight for February 3rd has been now been erased. Not cool. You know what? Kiwi, this is not this is pretty typical for Andy Ruiz because whenever he gets a scheduled bout against someone that's on low level, it always gets canceled. I mean, many of his fights have always been canceled, and this is what's hurt his activity is hurt his activity for a while as a heavyweight. Some argue that Andy Ruiz is not quite disciplined. Obviously, look at his weight. He's like he can't even always get into shape in time. That's why he postpones his fights a lot or ends up canceling because there's always a weight issue with him. But they always say it's a contractual dispute with Ruiz and his people. So I don't know, man. He's got great talent. He's a good heavyweight, but he gotta be active, man. Because after the Joseph Parker fight, nobody really mentions Andy Ruiz. So it's like people kind of forgot about him. It all goes back to the fact that he's not active enough. He's got to be active. He's got to sort out his promotional disputes. He can't continue to have these situations where his fights be called off due to money disputes or they get postponed due to not being in shape in time. I don't know, man. I really don't know. So I didn't know he had a fight coming up, but yeah. Now, as far as the Deontay Wilder's marijuana case, I'm not sure that's much big news, but many do. Some of you guys do know that Deontay Wilder was found guilty of possession of marijuana, and he was sentenced to community service, I believe. No jail time, but community service. And let me get that. Uh, marijuana. Let me look it up. Okay, so he was sentenced in the marijuana case, so he got 60 hours of community service with a misdemeanor, misdemeanor charge. So what that means is that he'll receive so he'll do 60 hours of community service. He is ordered to perform at the local YMCA, and he also received a 30-day suspended sentence with a 2-year probation. So again, no jail time, but he does have probation. He does have to do community service. But needless to say, that's not set in stone. Some of these things can get repealed, where the sentences can get reduced, or the probational period can get waived. But usually with a guy on the stature of Deontay Wilder, or especially he's a public figure, those things can get worked out because he does have the money to kind of manipulate the system. Sadly to say, it's true, he does. So expect that to get reduced. I mean, the probational period might get reduced from 2 years maybe to 1 year, maybe some months. Or if he does get reduced to 1 year, then he does a few months of probation. If he's clean for for a few months or so, they can go ahead and waive the rest of the retire the rest of the days, whatnot. So, yes, 2 year probation. So is he? NBT says so. Is he allowed out of the country for 2 years? Yeah, it doesn't mean yeah. So his sentence does not include a travel restriction. So he's allowed to travel. He can leave the United States at whatever he at his leisure time, as Kiwi Boxer says. So he has liberty to do that. So again, it's a slap at the wrist type of sentence. 2 year probation, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a full 2 years. He could get that knocked down. Believe me, these things can work, especially the guy with so much money that he can manipulate the system to his advantage. So it is what it is. Uh, Kiwi says here, yeah, man, I was hoping for maybe Dominic Brazil or Brian Jennings. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely are good fights, man. Is Ugano supposed to be fighting again after that Dominic Brazil fight? I mean, I like to see him back in the ring soon. I mean, I know he hasn't been fought in a while, so I don't know what's going on. These heavyweights need to be active, in my opinion. So they need to get active, man. I mean, definitely March is a good month, for the heavyweights, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, what else we got going on here? So the WBC has came out and they chimed in on that Wilder case, and this is what Mauricio Suleiman said. He said here, quote, that we support Deontay Wilder in the marijuana situation, so he's not guilty. I know. The conspiracy talk. Yeah, see, the WBC's in Deontay Wilder's pocket, or they got Deontay Wilder in their pocket. Blah blah blah. Okay, okay. I see where this is gonna go. They're gonna take some of the people who don't like Deontay Wilder. Well, I say you don't have to like him, but those who don't like him to the extreme, they're gonna run with that and say, you see, if that was anybody else, the WBC would have suspended them. Um, you could be right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but here's the way I look at it. The sanctioned bodies don't have a jurisdiction over people with who commits acts outside their jurisdiction. Okay, now how do I put it? I'm trying to be politically correct here. Okay, now if Deontay Wilder had marijuana in his system per se, if he had it in his system when he tested positive for marijuana, then yeah, the WBC can act on it. They could, okay, because of course you're not allowed to have that substance in your system because it's illegal, right? Well, in some jurisdictions. So since he doesn't have it in his system, but he was in possession of marijuana, he's never tested positive for any type of banned substance. The WBC said, well, you know what? It didn't happen in our jurisdiction. He's passed every single test. So we can't we can't give it, we can't knock him for that. Uh-oh. What in the world? Oh. All right. Let's see. Yep. Yep. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this right. Hold on. Yeah, that's weird. Why did I all right, yeah, that was the 68. I don't know what happened here. Let me try to invite you again, man. Let me see. What how did that happen? All right, let's try it again. Let's see what happened. All right, let's see. Let's try it again. All right, let's see what happened. What happened? What happened? All right, let's do it again. Yeah, let's see. Kiwi says here that I see the WBC's dumb decisions on them. I mean, it's not Waller's fault, but he is paying a price, so he should be pissed off with the WBC, in my opinion. Um, well, what exactly are you referring to as far as the oh, Israel Ghana? I see Israel on social media making out like it's going to be a big year for him. Okay, talking about Israel Ghana, why he hasn't been active. I see the WBC's double decisions on them is not Waller's fault, but he is still paying the price. He should be pissed with the WBC though, in my opinion. Okay, why should he? Why should Deontay be upset with them for the mandatories that they're giving him? I would be too. I would be too. Anyways, let me see. Let me try to do this way. Severn, Pavek, and Ortiz all dumb decisions. All decisions were dumb. Yeah, unfortunately, hey, especially Stavar, he should never been put as a mandatory challenger for, for being inactive for 2 years and coming off a tough victory over journeyman of Derek Rossi after one fight. Yeah, that right there was, yeah, that was inexcusable by the WBC. I just never understood why they made that type of decision. So, yeah, totally agree with you on that. Now, as far as let's see what else is Prevekin and Ortiz. Yeah, drug test situations. I get that. But hey, Ortiz definitely is going to fight though. They did get, they did, you know. Oh, yeah, hold on one second. Give me 1 second here. Let me get 68 here. Let's see. Hold on, 68. Let me see. Hop on. Hop on. Let's see if you can do it that way. Anyways, Pittsburgh Brewer says here WBC let Ortiz off the hook and he pissed dirty for PED. They didn't disclose. Why should the WBC try to punish Wilder for clean urines, whether they don't punish fighters with dirty ones? Well, Pittsburgh Brewer, they did punish Ortiz initially. They did. They punished him because of the fact that he did not disclose. He had a banned chemical. Well, actually not. Well, you can say, but let's say banned chemicals. Okay, blood pressure medication, right? Okay, he had blood pressure medication that was banned by VADA because of the fact that blood pressure meds are used to mask performance enhancement drugs, right? But nonetheless, Luis Ortiz did have medical medication to take these blood pressure meds because he does suffer from it. Okay, but what he did not do is that when he signed up for the clean boxing program, he did not disclose this medication on his application form, and that's why they busted him for that, and that's why they initially suspended him. But nonetheless, Luis Ortiz and his team worked hard and said, look, we'll go through further testing to prove our innocence. Yes, we made a mistake. We did not disclose that the medication that we took. We didn't do that. That's our fault. Okay, yes. We'll pay we'll pay whatever fine we have to pay, but what you have to do is clear us because the fact that we did not mean any harm. Okay? So the WBC did comply. They openly admitted that they kind of jumped the gun in that situation. So they worked it out with Ortiz and his team. They allowed him back into the rankings, and then that's it. Go from there. Okay. Yes, he got busted in 2014, but he openly admitted that he was taking PEDs. So he admitted to guilt right there. Okay. And he said to himself that was stupid for him to do what he did then. Okay. But right here, he felt he was innocent. He felt that, look, okay, I made a mistake for not disclosing my medication that I should have. But at the same time, I'm not doing anything illegal like I did in 2014. So the WBC did act. They jumped the gun on that situation. Okay, fine. So they worked out a deal. Great. Let's stay clean from this point on. Okay. End of story. So let's see. Uh, Kiwi says publicly smearing Ortiz's name, then letting him off was not good. The fight could have still happened by now. Yeah, I agree, Kiwi. I really agree with you on that one. I mean, Deontay Wilder himself even said that he even put in a written request to the WBC, say, hey, look, let the fight go. I still want to fight the guy. The WBC ruled against his request. So that wasn't Deontay Wilder's fault. He actually tried to make that fight happen despite that controversy. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Pittsburgh Brew says that what they don't have another medication without legal PED in it. Well, look, man, I'm not really a medical expert here, but what I can tell you is that yes, blood pressure meds are considered illegal because they're used to max PEDs. But however, there are some circumstances where certain athletes do have to take it because either sometimes blood pressure situations can happen due to hereditary issues or poor dieting. Okay, so with that said, that's why they want you to, when you sign up for drug testing programs, you have to disclose that information before it gets caught on the results. So that way they're aware of what's going on. Okay. Because if you take the medicine without proof of a prescription, like Luis Ortiz did have proof of prescription, then your ass is busted. You have no reason to be taking it. You have no legal grounds to take the medication. Okay. So yeah, so why couldn't they clear him before they canceled the fight in the first place? That's a good point. Like I said, Pittsburgh Brewer, I was very upset about that. They didn't handle it the proper way. So yes, they corrected themselves. They gave him another shot, and Wilder is still going to agree to fight him. So yes. Um, Rui Surat says that if Ortiz legitimately has hypertension to the level of need to take diuretics, he should not be boxing. Hey, what's up, Wing 776? I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point, But it depends on the severity of his hypertension, because sometimes hypertension, some people with hypertension, they don't have it to the extreme, but they still need it to keep it under control, whatnot. So if it was very serious, it was to that extreme. Yes, I agree with you. He should not be boxing. So maybe he doesn't have it to that extreme, but at the same time, he does need the medication to control it. Olaf the Mighty, what's going on, man? He said that WBC just really wanted Severn to fight for the title. That's why they stopped the first fight, even though they believed him about the blood pressure meds. The WBC is really corrupt. Yeah, that could be possible. That could be possible. But let's not. And again, we can't blame Deontay Wilder for that either, because Deontay Wilder wanted the Ortiz fight. Again, I have to reiterate, he put in written requests to the WBC and allowed and asked them to keep the fight going for November, but the WBC denied that request. And we all know that Don King has been in the has been in there with the WBC for many years, so obviously they want that fight to go ahead, and they got it, and look what happened. The end result. Let me see. Rory Stura says hypertension is a main risk factor for getting a stroke. So if you don't want a brain bleed if you're getting punched in the head. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. That's a very, very, very good point. But again, it probably goes back to the fact that maybe the hypertension is not as severe as as you would think it is. I don't think he has it to that severity. He just have it to the point that, okay, you know what, we really have to monitor your levels, because you could get to that point. So we got to prevent that from happening. That's the reason why he's taking it. Pittsburgh Brewer says that regardless of diuretics, regardless, diuretics are banned too, which is true. He is a top professional athlete that has millions of dollars at stake. His team just doesn't want to disclose it. Yeah. Proof of description. Find a doctor that will prescribe whatever you want. Well, the doctors have to approve it themselves too, if it's best to your best to your nature. So Pittsburgh Brewer says that WBC doctors found no evidence of high blood pressure. Nobody's blaming Wilder. Just a shame that the only opponent will give Wilder credit for beating is a habitual bad substance violator. Well, yeah. Look, again, we all know he got caught in 2014. Okay, he admitted that was anabolic steroids. He moved on from it. He served his punishment. He did it. He served his time, as people will call it. So be it. He did. He moved on from it. He's been clean for the last 4 years. But the way, after the second situation where he got caught with the bad, with the blood pressure medication, people were just quick to, to throw him under the bus, and I felt that wasn't right. I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on here. Let's just back up for a minute, like I did with the Pavecka situation. Okay, initially when Pavecka got caught with the Meldonia, I was like, okay, guys, let's just back up and see what the B sample says. And then the story came out that Pavecka had took in 3 different tests where he tested negative, and then he tested positive for a 4th test. So I was like, wait a minute, I found that suspicious. I was like, wait a minute. So this guy has already been tested randomly so many times before the Wilder fight, and yet he gets caught on the 4th test. That makes no sense. In case of Ortiz, we don't see no evidence of that. So this is the first test he got, he took, and he got caught with the blood pressure meds. So yeah, so it is what it is. Now Pavecka, yeah, he's a different story, because Pavecka failed 2 different drug tests for 2 different substances in the same year. Okay, that's no excuse right there. Okay, after the Mendonian case, yes, they based off technicality, they decided to give him a slap on the wrist with community service along with a probational period. What also they initially stated that, okay, we're also going to continue to monitor you on the Meldonia situation. So they were still working on it. They were still investigating him for the possible drug use. After the WBC kind of cleared the thing up, they didn't clear him, but they still were investigating him. And then the whole Ostery situation came up a few months later. And we all see now the Pavecka how he performs after being banned, without using those supplements. We see how he performs now. He's not the same dangerous brute fighter that he was when he was on them. So he was not this devastating knockout artist. So we all see that's evident of that. And we're 68, man. I thought this was a come on here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Why aren't you on, brother? Why aren't you on? All right, set you another one. Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let me see. Nah, not only Ortiz but Vivek as well. We already talked about that. IO PyRX. Oh, IO prescription. No more prime Povetkin. Well, hey, it is. That's the truth. I mean, Povetkin's not the fighter that he was when he was on those substances. After he got off the substances, you see his physique has changed. You see that he has no power in his punches. I mean, he does have enough power to get you respect, but he doesn't have that concussive power that he had when he was on those substances when he was taking them. So yeah, it is what it is. But he still could be a viable, dangerous contender. So we'll see, because he is in line to get a. He has become the mandatory challenger to both Joseph Parker and not Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. So he's not only the WBO number one guy, he's also the WBA number one guy. So, uh, yeah, Pittsburgh Brewer says, I just want to give a quick shout out to all those GGG fans out there who gave us every argument point to validate Wilder based on the eye test and not resume. Hey. Hey, man, it is what it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention GGG Canelo is about to be confirmed, too. I forgot to mention that for May. So 2018 is definitely shaping up to be a good year in boxing so far, man. I'll get into that in a sec. Um, all right. Prescription says that Joshua Parker announcement next week. Likely, you think? Yeah, I would say likely, definitely next week. But I was told that in 24 hours they're going to wrap up the deal because Joseph Parker is en route to London to finalize the deal with him and Anthony Joshua. So from there, both Parker's team and Joshua's team, they're going to have a joint announcement. So we'll see. We'll be keeping an eye on that. So I definitely think no later than next week, but I think probably tomorrow or probably the day after tomorrow, which is over here in the West Coast and in the United States, that would be Monday. I think on the other side of the world, it more likely could be Tuesday. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Um, Oh, really? Is that confirmed, Sammy Vasquez versus Amir Khan? Really? Let me look that up. Let me see. Because I know that Amir Khan's fight, now he's signed with Eddie Hearn. That's his big announcement that that was wondering about. Amir Khan is fighting on the same day that Carl Frampton and Nito Donaire is fighting on. That card is being promoted by, what's his name? Frank Warren. So the Nito Donaire and the Carl Frampton fight, I don't think Amir Khan has the star power to overshadow that fight, because you have to understand Amir Khan has not fought in the UK for 5-6 years. He's always argued that the money, and the marketability is in the United States, and that's where that's where he was for the last several years. And the only reason why he said that is because yes, he got some pretty big fights over here. Well, not saying big fights, but he got some significant fights over here in the States. But he really wanted that Mayweather fight. So since he did get the Mayweather fight, since he did get the Pacquiao fight, which he also wanted as well, since he did get neither of those fights, but he did get the Canelo fight, and then he ran out of options after the Canelo fight, he decides to return to the UK. But the thing is though, the last time he was in the UK, he almost got knocked out by Julio Diaz in front of his whole crowd, a crowd that he never sold out. He never sold out from that crowd. So I don't think he has enough star power to overshadow that Carl Frampton and Nito Donaire fight. So that would be interesting. Be very, very interesting. But we do know he is scheduled to fight on that day, but we don't know the opponent yet. So I looked it up, Bismarck Brewer. I looked it up. I don't see any scheduled fight between him and Sammy Vasquez. I really don't. I don't see it. So we have to see, man. We have to see. And Sammy Vasquez desperately needs a good victory, because he was looked as a promising prospect. People were talking about him and Errol Spence fighting each other. Of course, his setbacks were against Julio Diaz and Luis Collazo. So yeah, he's really got to rebound He's really got to rebound with this fight if it gets made. If it does get made. So the Mexican who can Sammy Vasquez, the who can Mexican. I mean, a former soldier, from who did tours at in Afghanistan, Iraq. But Sammy definitely needs a rebound. He suffered 2 consecutive losses, both to Diaz and Collazo, as I pointed out. So if the Khan fight does come off, I do expect Khan to win it, but Sammy Vasquez definitely needs to rebound. I mean, that would be a good fight for him to do it. So we'll see. Um, yeah, man. So as far as Canelo and Triple G is concerned, I know that fight is the terms has been met. Let me bring up the article here. Both sides have agreed, so the fight is scheduled for May of Cinco de Mayo of this year. So let's see. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, this was reported by the LA Times. Canelo Alvarez has agreed to fight Gennady Golovkin again. All terms have been met. No rematch clause. No rematch clause. I repeat, there is no rematch clause for the second bout, which is kind of typical for rematch fights because usually when a second fight's been made between two fighters, there's no rematch clauses involved. So yeah, I think let me see. There's no rematch clause involved. Where's the venue going to be? It's going to be in more likely it's going to be in Vegas again. So we'll see. Yeah, more likely it's going to be in Vegas. It's not going to be in New York, obviously. So basically Eric Gomez, who's the president of operations with Golden Boy, he was asked about the venue. He did say that the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, will be the likely venue again. However, he does expect strong offers to be made by venues like the Madison Square Garden or the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. So we'll see. We'll see. So definitely there's going to be some big bidders for this rematch to take place in May 5th. So they got the date. We just got to lock down the venue. So that's we got to wait on that. If I were to pick a winner, I hate to say it, guys. I know some people are going to disagree with me on this one. I probably would lean towards Canelo. I think I will lean towards Canelo because I think Golovkin has really lost a step up over his last three fights. I mean, we saw that evident against Kell Brook. We saw the evidence against Danny Jacobs, and we definitely saw it evident against the first Canelo fight. He's definitely lost a step. He's taken too much punishment in his last three fights. So I think Canelo will have an upper hand with against Golovkin. To be honest with you, I really think he will. So let's see. So let me see. Rashad Saldana, he said that. Actually, no, before I go to that, Pittsburgh Brewers says that Khan crawling back to the UK with his duck, with his duck between. Oh, you mean tail tucked between his legs, begging for it, or you meant to say the word? Oh man, asking for forgiveness, and he thinks siding with Eddie Hearn will win the favors with UK fans. Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Like I said, that Khan kind of stuck it to the UK demographic when he did say that there's no marketability in the UK. That's why he left over to the States because he felt there's more money to be made there. Obviously, I live in the States. There's more money to be made here, which at the time it was to some degree. Uh, the bigger fights are here, which is true, they were. And so I'm going to make my impact over here. And he did to some degree, but at the same time, he held out too long because he wasn't active enough. He felt he was in perfect position to get the Mayweather fight. He felt he was in perfect position to get the Pacquiao fight. So, but in all fairness, he was a mandatory challenger to Floyd Mayweather's WBC title. But the WBC granted Floyd so many exemptions to avoid that mandatory shot, that mandatory obligation. So, yeah, I can see why Khan has been seething at Floyd ever since. So it is what it is. Let me see. Let's see. Paul Spadafora was a beast. Bear Khan versus Paul Spadafora. I mean, Spatty ain't been around in years, man. He's retired. He's about 41 years old. So I don't see him coming back into the ring. I know he's had some personal issues, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, he's always been he's had some substance issues. I mean, drug substance abuse. So I just don't. Yeah, I mean, since Pittsburgh said that he could have been an all-time great. Yeah, Spatty was a very good lightweight, very good fighter, man. Had a lot of potential. He was a champion. He's beat some pretty good names at lightweight. Only suffered one loss to I think it was Austin Freitas that beat him. I could be wrong, but I have to go back and check. But yeah, man, it's just sad and tragic how his life turned. His life turned upside down after his boxing career had concluded. So yeah, totally wasted talent. It is what it is. Rashad Sodada says that if Alvarez beats Golovkin, look for Mayweather to challenge him for those middleweight titles. Yeah. That would not surprise me. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me, Rashid. Hey, Rashid, yeah, Rashad, not Rashad. Yeah, it's Rashid. Rashid, it would not surprise me also that if Mayweather challenged either the winner of Golovkin and Alvarez for after that fight. I think it will happen, okay, because if Golovkin does win, Floyd's going to get him to do a catch weight, which Golovkin agrees he will do. Because if the money is right, he'll definitely do it for Floyd. He'll go down to 155 or 156 for Floyd to get that big payday. He will do it. And I expect Floyd to outclass him, to be honest with you. I really do. Alvarez, we already see that fight. We already know what Floyd knows what Alvarez can do. So, I mean, I expect Floyd to outclass both of them easily, to be honest with you. I'm not a Floyd fan. I'm just being honest. I'm not a Floyd fan. I just don't think that. I just think that he will outclass Golovkin. Golovkin cannot do well with technical fighters. Okay, that's a fact. Yes, he got through with the Kell Brook fight. I get you that. Danny Jacobs. We saw what happened to Danny Jacobs. He had a tough time against Danny Jacobs. He barely got out of that fight. Some people felt he lost that fight against Danny Jacobs. And we saw what Canelo did to him. Canelo looked like the true boxer against Golovkin. Golovkin was just out of his element when he fought Canelo Alvarez. But for the most part, he did battle back. He made the fight closer than it should. I thought the fight was a draw. No, there was no decisive winner, to be honest with you. I just think that Golovkin is just out of his element, man, to be honest with you. I really think he is. Yeah, I really think he is, to be honest with you. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Spatty was supposed to be the Floyd stopper. Yeah, he was. In fact, there's an online footage. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. Blacklight Season. What's going on, man? Um, there is actually footage of a sparring session between Floyd Mayweather and Paul Spadafore, and in that in that sparring session, Paul Spadafore gave Floyd hell in that sparring session. He whooped him from every corner of the ring in that sparring session. He was catching Floyd with too many counters. He had the better hand speed. I mean, he literally outclassed Floyd at every department, including hand speed, including giving him angles. Paul Spadafore was a southpaw, mind you. I mean, he was a much bigger guy than Floyd, and he was bullying Floyd in that sparring session. And some people, it was rumored that Floyd didn't want nothing to do with him when Floyd moved up to 135 and like at lightweight. He didn't want nothing to do with Paul Spadafore. He didn't want to fight that guy. So that was supposed to be the rumor. I mean, obviously, to me, sparring is a different story, but at the same time, I really thought that Paul Spadafore would definitely had a good chance of beating Floyd if that fight would ever got made. I really think he would have. Yeah, he did with Floyd sparring. He really kind of embarrassed him in sparring session, to be honest with you. He did. And Black Latin Caesar says that what would the catchweight be if Floyd fought Golovkin? It'd probably be 155 or 156, roughly around there. I believe so. UK Fight Group says no chance that Floyd fights Triple G. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I will tell you this. I think he'll fight him at the right time, and I think this will be the perfect time to fight him when Golovkin is vulnerable. He is a vulnerable guy at this point. He may not get knocked out. When I mean by vulnerable, that he's got a lot of deficiencies that can be exploited. That's already been exploited. A lot of deficiencies. I mean, Golovkin He could cut off the ring very well. He could place his shots very well. He does have perfect balance. But the one thing about Golovkin is that he doesn't move his head. He has no reflexes. He's a sitting target. He's too upright. He doesn't really bend his knees, and he has no hand speed. I'm just being honest. He doesn't have those hand speed, and that's why his shots are too telegraphed. They're too telegraphed. So and that's the thing. Rashid says that Floyd need those middleweight titles to bolster his inadequate TBE credentials. Yeah, yeah, I agree. As some people are gonna say, I may have to agree. He may take that fight to pad his resume, either the Golovkin or Triple G winner. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Pittsburgh Brewers. Let's not get crazy now. Yeah. All right. Well, I agree. Rashid, Blacklist user at Rashid, there's nothing Floyd can do. He'll never be TBE. You know what? Let me say something about this. TBE, 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 the best ever. I mean, well, obviously Floyd is not the best ever. Okay, he is not. If he had said that he was the best of his era, okay, that's a different argument. Could he say that I'm one of the greatest fighters of all time? Maybe that would have been acceptable. But to say that you're the best ever, to say that Muhammad Ali, the Harry Grebs, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Ezra Charleses of the world, these guys could amount to nothing compared to you. Well, that's totally inaccurate. That's where you're going to get called out, and it's why people are going to pick apart your resume like I did. Okay, and yet you say that people hate on you because you don't like the criticism, the unfair treatment they're giving you. Well, you put yourself in that situation because you created a climate, an environment where you say disparaging things about the fighters that came before you, and there's people like myself who respect those legends. And though they were not perfect, no, they were not perfect, but they were respected for the craft and the work that they put in the ring. And those fighters put in way more work and took on way more dangerous risks than you did. And you openly admitted that you wasn't in the sport for legacy. You was there to pay. You said that skills only pays bills, not legacy. That's what you said, and people are gonna call you out on it. And that's what happened to you on that radio interview with R.A. the Rugged Man back in 2009 with Shea 45. That's what happened to Floyd. Okay, so if you're gonna make some comments like that, man, you better expect the backlash to come after you. And that's something he couldn't take, and he was victimizing himself all the time, which I just found laughable. Okay, so yeah, let's move on from that. I mean, look, if Floyd does come back and fight either Canelo or Golovkin for the middleweight title, so be it. But I definitely give him more credit if he does fight Golovkin. I really would. I really would. I'll be honest with you. Win, lose, or draw, I would give him credit. So let's see. Titans will win or football. Okay. Talking about football, y'all. The NFL. Okay. Well, I think I'm about to have to wrap this up. I mean, 68 was supposed to come on. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. Until next time, brothers. Let's see. Yeah, I think I wrapped everything up here. I want to give a shout out to my commenters, Black Light Caesar, Rock 89, Pittsburgh Brewer, Rashid Sadada. What else? IO Prescriptions. I think that's I pronounced it right. Rui Sarat. All off the mighty Wings, Wing King 76. Oh, somebody just jumped on. Hold on for a second.
Low plays. Where you go?
I'm here. Well, what's up? Why are you here?
Muted.
I know I'm muted. What's going on?
Where everybody at? Where's 68 at?
I don't know.
He didn't ever get on?
Nope.
He was asking for a link.
Well,
I just got off another hangout.
All right. Cool.
What you talking about over here?
No, just random stuff. Just going over news on Wilder-Ortiz, Whyte-Browne, Joshua Parker, and of course your favorite subject on the WBC's Donna Stevenson and Lady Alvarez situation. I went over that in the beginning of my broadcast and gave my thoughts on it. So yeah.
Yeah, they need to get their situation together. They just need to remove Lady Alvarez. Ain't nothing to talk about no more. He's showing what he is, and people need to come out and correct how they was covering it. WBC is they getting antsy, And then now they looking to point fingers, and it ain't no fingers to point. He's a grown
Yes, it
man.
is. Yeah, it is.
He's a grown man though. Like you take the fight. If you never do, you're holding up the rankings. And I saw that boxing scene article to say, I'm reading your title now, to say what your title just said. And in a way, he didn't blame anybody but Michelle and Alvarez. So and I think he shouldn't have blamed anybody but that, because the issue is he ducked not the champion this time. He ducked an eliminator. So for anybody that's going to say something like, I don't know who might have said this, but strip Stevenson or something like that.
Yeah.
How
Why?
can you strip Stevenson for this
Let,
guy ducking an eliminator?
let me
Like
tell
he
you
needs to.
why. Let me tell you why. Because Stevenson has been asking for exemptions to not take that fight. He,
No.
yes, he has. Yes, he
Did
has.
you see the
It's been
timeline? Did you see the
It,
timeline
it
for it?
doesn't matter the timeline. That is documented. Even Mauricio Suleiman has confirmed that. Stevenson's
Yeah,
team has
he
been
showed
asking for
he
exemptions.
showed you
Wait,
the
hold up, hold up, hold
timeline.
up. Hold on. So you're saying that when a fighter asks for so many exemptions to not fight is mandatory, he's not equally responsible. He's not responsible for that.
No,
Is that what you're
man,
saying?
you saw an exempt, you saw the thing that said at one time where he said, and also at these times they truly investigated. These are times where he's made a deal with him, and they just put it down the way they did. He tried to get this man a deal ever since 2016. He's offered monetary sums since 2016.
You're
If
not
you,
answering the question. So are you saying the champion? Well, you're saying the champion who's asked for so many exemptions should not be held
no, no, no.
responsible.
But when you can't make a deal, see, the thing is that there. Let's go back to this, and I'll go with you. What I'm saying is this: they have already moved past the situation. There was no situation until a later Alvarez now just ducked an eliminator bout.
You know why he
He is
ducked it? You know
okay.
why?
Hold on. He ducked it because I mean, let's go to the little timeline thing. I mean, I haven't been reading it because
I'll tell you why
I
he
know
ducked
that.
it. I'll tell you
You
why.
want to go to the timeline?
No, I'm not going to the timeline. I'll tell you
But
why
you
he ducked
can't duck it.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
if you
I'll tell
tell
you
that
what.
the
No, no, no,
champion
no, no.
offered
Hold
you
up,
a
hold up.
deal, but
I'll
if
tell
the
you why he
champion
ducked it.
offers you a
I'll
deal,
tell
you
you why
can't
he
duck.
ducked it. Hold up. I'm gonna tell you why he ducked it. Okay. I'm not giving him pass for ducking it. I'll tell you why he ducked it. He ducked it
Mhm.
because first of all, his team did not expect the WBC to come out with this announcement where they were ordered to fight an eliminator again to put their mandatory status on the line. They thought they were going to rule on that fact that they were going to order the Stevenson and Alvarez fight to go down. Okay, that's what they assumed. Okay, so when that didn't happen, Alvarez team pulled out and said, "Wait a minute, why do we got to continue to be fighting these damn eliminators when we did this 3 times already?" Yes, I can understand that situation. However, I did say the Alvarez team are equally responsible as well because they're the ones who allow these step aside deals to take place. They should never accepted it
Mhm.
as far as they did. And
And that's
Stevenson, on the other hand, should have to take care of this damn mandatory. He's like, you know what? He
right
should have
then.
told. No, no, he didn't
What do
try.
you do?
He
What do
did
you
try.
do? You want
Okay,
to
what?
read? Here's the
Why did he
2017.
ask for another? Why did he ask for another
No,
exemption?
this is 2017. Let's
We're
read
not talking
2000.
about 17. We're
That's
talking about
okay.
now.
All right. Well, we're talking about the latest one because they hadn't done anything and they didn't do anything in 2016. We can
Well,
go
you're
back to that.
overlooking
We
the
let's
fact.
go back to that one in a second.
Why? Why
It
are
says
you?
Mark. Oh, it says
Why are you overlooking the fact he wanted an exemption and he got it granted? Why are you overlooking
when,
that?
what date are you saying? Because he has the ability to say, "Yo, I offered the
Okay.
man a fight." Champions can go to them. Now, when the mandatory does it again, you're not gonna look back at that one. He won't be the first and the last champion to say, "Yo, we couldn't make a deal. Can I get a voluntary?" He
When
won't
was
be the
that?
first or the last.
2016. 2016, right?
We
2016
can
that
we can
happened?
go through all of it. Like I just don't understand how you can equate any issue with Alvarez. He was told he was holding up progression. All right. So they made him again say, "Well, you're gonna fight somebody," and that's the right thing to do. He pulled out from that. All right, that's his issue. That's just simple as that. You
Well,
know,
it's not just Elite Alvarez. It's Adonis Stevenson and the WBC. All 3 parties are at fault for this whole situation. Okay, they all need to take responsibility.
all
Stevenson should have forced that fight. He said, "No, I'm not going to work." He should have told Yvonne Michelle, "You know what, Yvonne, I appreciate you trying to do this for me, but I got to get this guy out the way." If he
what?
doesn't accept the fight, then let the WBC said, "You know what, you need to be removed from the mandatory status."
Well, that's where the WBC comes into play because
Yeah.
that's basically what he done. He said offer him monetary sums. That's all you can do. You
When
can't
did
sign for him.
when
He's
did
been
that happen?
He's
when
been
that happened.
offered. He's been offered 150,000. I can read you the article right here where he said we got an offer from his team alone. I've read it to you before. It's from his
150 grand as a
his manager.
mandatory.
Look.
I-
All I can tell you. Look, hold on. Didn't Charlo defend for less than 150 grand? Charlo defended his title for 100 grand. He is not entitled to some huge purse because he's the mandatory. They just look. They're not making a lot of money. Deal with it. They told him they're not. If he wants to do anything else, it is now his job to enforce a purse bid, like the WBC president told you. What he say? Yo, this guy hasn't been adamant about fighting Stevenson, so it is what it is. Like I don't see anything really coming from this other than a later Alvarez needing to be moved from the position. It's sad because he should, he worked too hard and now he fucked
so
himself.
you're saying that Stevenson is not equally at fault for asking for so many exemptions as well, right? Because I already said
Hold
that
on,
Alvarez
hold
is
on.
equally to blame
No,
here.
no, no. You add what you do is you try to deal with him, and he's tried to deal with him. I've shown you that multiple times. That's why the
He's trying to
WBC is
do.
not.
Why did he press to get him removed then? Why didn't he get pressed to remove?
It's not his job to say,
It
yo, I'm
is. It
mandatory.
is because
How is it?
Joshua
No,
did
no,
that
no, no,
to
no.
Joshua
His
did that to
job is to be
Ortiz.
his job is the WBC. That's because Joshua and Eddie Hearn may have conspired to get somebody removed. It doesn't mean Adonis Stevenson, his team, have to do this. That's the WBC's job to police their rankings. It's his job to defend his title, and that's
Well,
all it is.
I would
Now,
agree with you on that, but however, I will say again, it seems like you're trying to put the blame on the WBC and Alvarez, and you're not trying to put the
I
blame on
am.
Stevenson.
I've been doing that.
Exactly.
Because I know he's offered them deals. Then I'll get you the quote right here. I'll get you
Yeah,
the
he's
quote.
offered deals. He's
I'll get
offered
you the
deals.
quote.
Yeah, he's offered deals, but Alvarez team have came back with counter
Hold
offers,
on. Hold
which
on. Hold on.
somehow, wait, hold up. They have came back with counter offers, which somehow, some way, end up to be step aside deals, which Alvarez accepted at that point. So why?
Adonis.
How does Adonis Stevenson not get blamed for pushing
What
this back?
offers? Name me this. Name me this, because I don't have this information. You just obviously you have it. You said it. What counter offers has a later Alvarez made? Because what I see right here is this. I wanted to go direct. This is a direct quote. The article is later Alvarez on facing Adonis Stevenson saw Ward Kovalev as a draw. I wanted to go directly to Adonis, even though my team said no. But in the end, I thought it was a good. And by his team, it'll later be revealed in the article that he is talking about his trainer and his people. What is it? Stephanie Lapine or something like that. Another guy that I got quotes on where he admits they've had monetary offers, but they looked to secure his future instead. Basically, meaning they was using their position to step aside. And it said, "Look,
Yeah, exactly.
Steve,
Because you have
okay,
to understand.
May
You have to understand that fighters don't reject step aside deals for the most part. They
look,
don't do that. And
I'm going to.
second of all, and again, I do blame
Did,
Alvarez for continuing to do that. Like
did you
Mauricio,
see?
wait,
Did you see where
hold
he
up.
said he didn't get paid? Did you see where they said Alvarez has never had a step aside payment paid to him? You see that?
Well, they never got a fee, but they definitely got a step aside deal, which was an increase in their purse for future bouts. So that did involve money either way.
Dan, Dan,
Yeah, they did.
let me
They
tell you
did.
this.
They did.
The direct thing coming from his manager was we signed a multi-fight deal for for 6 figures each fight, and that's the
Exactly.
minimum they had. But
Exactly.
hold on, let me get you to understand. He made 6 figures fighting Butte and Pascal. He's
Yeah, that was
made that up. Like that's basically that's kind of like promised to him already. Like he's
he never
in a
was promised
way.
that before. No, he was never promised that before the Butte fight.
No, but I'm saying once you get that, you're really never going backwards from. Now, if he loses, more than likely that contract is scrapped. So a guy like Alexander Vazic presents he doesn't present a Pascal Abute. He presents a potential loss. And Alvarez once again, and I'm gonna read each time they say
Well,
Adonis request.
before you do that, the WBC, like I said, I have to hold them responsible too. They should never have sanctioned those two fights.
Mhm.
Okay, to me, I like Jack and Stevenson, but it'd probably been a more rightful decision to allow them to say, you know what, put their foot down, and say, you know what, we got to just due to the backlash, we got to sanction the Stevenson Alvarez fight. Both fighters got to come together and make that fight happen. No
To
more step aside deals. No more of these. No more of these. No more of this being our division being held up. They got to
listen to
fight.
this.
They got
Listen
to
to this.
fight. So, anyways, I see EJ in there. EJ, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. What's going on, guys?
Not much, not much. You in the car or something, bro? Or you at the train station?
That was a TV, man. That's a TV. What's popping, man? You guys getting it? What's up? What's up, Lopez? Happy
Yeah,
New
man.
Year.
Nah, he
Dan,
trying.
Yo, what's up?
Dan, I
Nah,
want to
What's
touch
up,
on one
people?
point you got
People in the
wrong, man.
chat. People in the chat, man. What's popping, man? You guys are talking about everything but nothing, Jenny. What are you talking
Yeah,
about? Nothing. What are you
hold
talking
on,
about?
Dan. Let me touch on one point before you go to it,
Here we
because
go. Here we go.
I want something you. Now he was a mandatory in 2015. That's when he earned it. All right, 2016, because you said Adonis requested, and it never writes that. The WBC never writes that for Alvarez. They write that for Pascal after Pascal didn't take the deal. Now it says Yvonne Michelle confirms that they have a WBC agreement, reached the purse offer. They reached the offer and the purse is canceled. Now this is when they was going to make the fight, and they told him that this is when they told him to fight somebody else and not Stevenson, his team. Alvarez requests the WBC. This is Alvarez request to fight Butte for the silver title and not lose his mandatory position, basically. 2016, they enforce it. Now we go to 2017, and it says it again. Alvarez informs the WBC that he's going to step aside. And understand, he had a deal to fight then in a way. He kind of already had the deal. No, wrong. He didn't have a deal then. He steps aside, and we know that's for no money. 2017, that's the last. They didn't write anything for that one. He withdraws from the purse bid. That's it. You know,
who
like it's
withdraws
not
for a
looking
first
good.
bid?
It's not looking good. Well, yeah, withdraws from the purse bid with Vazi. It's not looking good for him, and it shouldn't be. Like, I can't blame the champion for telling the mandatory, here's the deal, and the mandatory not wanting to be a champion. And then you definitely can't blame the champion for him ducking a fight that he was, mandated to take. Like, dog, like, is he supposed to be your big brother or the person fighting you? You know what I mean? Like, but we can move on from that. I just wanted to, get that.
I find it amazing that you twisted. That was pretty good. That's pretty clever. But at the
No, I'm just
same
reading their
time, no,
words.
no, 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 hold up. It was very clever you did that. Okay, but at the same time, you keep on neglecting the fact that Stevenson has offered, not an offer. I'm sorry, has for asked for exemptions for a while now. He's been going out there telling everybody that there's no money in the Alvarez fight, which I can see what he's
That's
trying
fine.
to do. Well, like I'm saying, what I'm saying is that I can see why he's doing that because he's 40 years old. He's about to be 41. He's at that age where he says, you know what? I don't give a fuck about the sport anymore, which I don't think he really did. All he cared about was the money. Okay, fair enough. It's prize fighting. Okay. All he cares about is maintaining his faculties, which he's at this point. He's made his millions of dollars, but fighting up the obscure opposition that he's been doing for the last 5
I
years.
gotta
Well,
disagree.
no. Hold up. That's fine. He's made his millions of dollars. He's going to invest it into other ventures, which is cool. I can't be mad at you because as a fighter, you can't have a long career. You got to, think about other ventures outside of that. Just like any athlete, athlete that partakes in any sport. Okay. So he's at that point is that he needs one big money fight to close out his career, that's what he's focused at this point, which I get. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that all three sides need to be blamed here. Okay, I'm just surprised. I'm not surprised because you're giving Adonis Stevenson a pass here.
It's
Okay,
not a pass.
it
It's
is a
nothing to
pass.
blame.
You're giving him a
And,
pass.
and once again, you're saying we never heard him speak on retirement. That's you doing that. He's never said I'm about to leave the sport. Like, we don't know what his plans are. I never heard that. But I'm telling you what they said. They tell we had a deal. Look, WBC is formed. There's
He is going to
agreement.
retire.
And
He is going
hold
to
on.
retire.
All
He
right,
is
well,
going
we
to
don't
retire.
know. We don't know that. That's your thoughts. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But that's not what he said. The WBC is informed that there is an agreement that the fight will happen December at the
Well, no
latest.
matter.
And hold on. When they gave him that agreement, this guy decided to step aside for Badu Jack instead. He had, regardless if it's no money in the fight, Adonis can tell you the truth about that. If it's no money in
Exactly.
it, that's anybody's right
Exactly.
to say,
And he got
a
he got an
mandatory.
exemption too. And he got an exemption for that too
Okay,
that he
all right,
requested.
all right, okay.
Okay, why you ignoring
But
that?
whose problem is that? If he's stepping aside, now what has to happen is the people behind him are going to point and say, "Yo, something needs to be done." The WBC did the right thing,
Exactly.
and they ordered
Exactly.
him.
I
They
said
ordered
that.
him to
Alvarez,
fight.
Alvarez need to be blamed for agreeing to that, for Stevenson.
Okay, and they
Hold up,
ordered him to fight Alexander Vazek, and he ducked it.
hold up.
Gotta move him.
No, hold up. I agree that Alvarez should not have agreed to allow Stevenson to get that exemption. So that's
But do
his
you
fault
know
right
the
there.
WBC rules
Let
say
me
he can
finish.
fight Badu Jack?
Oh, no,
You
hold
know
up,
the
finish.
WBC rules say he can fight Badu Jack, the former
Exactly.
WBC champion. So this
Doesn't
is not
matter.
really an exemption.
Badu Jack,
This
yes,
is the
it is
rule.
exemption. It exemption because Badu Jack wasn't even ranked when that whole thing
He's
happened.
the former
But
WBC
don't
champion. That's
matter.
the rule.
He
Go
never
look at
got
that rules.
no, bruh. First of all, that's a regular champion. They don't really get recognized. Okay, he wasn't the super champion. Number
No,
one.
he was the
Number
former
two.
168 WBC champion. When you move up in weight, you can take on the champion. That's why this exemption really isn't an exemption. Badu Jack is in line for the fight if he wants it, because he's the.
Was he ranked by the WBC?
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. Dan,
So
he is ranked right now. He's like 2 or 3 right now.
Now he is.
But their rules, the WBC rules state this. The former champion, Terrence Crawford, could have jumped right up right now and fought Keith Thurman. He didn't need Jeff Horn. He could do it right now by the WBC rules. So if anybody ever says Keith Thurman is ducking Terrence Crawford, he didn't have no way to. All right, see what I'm saying? That's what the rules are. Anybody lower can jump one division, fight the WBC champion.
Are you saying that Badu Jack earns the right to fight Stevenson other than Alvarez?
Yes, by their rules. By their rules. Yes, that's by their rules. I mean, you can pull the rules. Hey, I'm just giving you the WBC rules.
I understand the rules, but I'm asking you from a morale standpoint. You're saying that a mandatory who's been sitting there for 2 years trying to get his shot.
Look, all I can say is that man didn't take the fight. That man didn't take the fight. He had so many times, man. I can't feel sorry for a guy that's sitting out here and he's not taking fights versus a 40-year-old. You're supposed to knock him out, man. You supposed to be the
let me ask you
guy, the bigger guy.
Let me ask you this though, because I got an interesting question. Where did you see that rule that a former champion for the WBC gets?
That's the WBC's rule. That's their rule.
Where is it? I never seen that.
Go look in that rule. Go to WBC and look in their rules. I've read the rules before. That's their rules.
I read it before. I can only tell you one thing. There is a rule that if you're granted as a champion emeritus like Vitaly Klitschko and Floyd Mayweather, then you have that right. So I'm just saying. But to be fair, they can grant exemptions because they can break their own rules as they see fit. But they don't have a written rule about that. They only have a written rule about the champions emeritus.
Check it out. They do have a rule on the WBC champions going up fighting other WBC champions. It kind of helped Danny Garcia in a way to get his shot, and it kind of boiled that over a little bit when people was like, "Yo, he shouldn't be," and it was like, "Well,
they can make exemptions for guys moving up the weight to fight their champions, but there is no specific rule where their champion from the sanctioned body can fight another champion. There's no specific rule about that.
It is. Look in their rules. Just Google their rules. Matter of fact, I'll even look again. They haven't updated since.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. But I just never seen it. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I have. They really, and even when you go to their rules, it's gonna say like 2011, the last time they updated. Then in the pages, it's gonna say 2015. So they all over the place. Period. But they are. That's what they say.
But anyways, like I said, man, I can't believe you're not trying to hold down to Stevenson, not even 1 ounce of responsibility.
How can I, yo? Like this dude.
You never do. Hold
on. So if Terrence Crawford's mandatory, let's say if they order eliminators for Terrence Crawford, final eliminators, Terrence Crawford already has a mandatory. If those two guys decide not to fight one another, I cannot look at Terrence Crawford and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe these eliminators."
Let me ask you this: why does Leedy Alvarez have to fight another eliminator when he's
because he's holding up the rankings? Because he's holding up the rankings. He won't take the deal to fight Adonis Stevenson. I guess he's scared of him. I don't know. Well, look, Dan, the best thing for me and you to do would be say, "Yo, you should have took that money and beat him." If you've been offered monetary sums and you don't like it, then force a purse bid. That's your right as a mandatory. Anybody can bid on it. If you don't like what you get, you can walk away from it, but you got to make something concrete or you will not be the champion, and people will look and say, "Yo, I want my shot at the champion." They're not going to be looking to say, "Yo, I want my shot at Alvarez." They're going to want the champion, and it's all going to fall down on you, and that's what it's doing. The WBC is blaming his ass. I mean,
Stevenson and Michelle.
I mean, that's what the article says. But for all I see, it said the promoter of both fighters, and maybe that's why he continues to delay Stevenson's mandatory defense. Doesn't look like a blame. That looks like a maybe that's why. I mean, I
It is a
think the
blame.
article is,
It is a
I think the
blame.
article is a little clickbait. But as far as Alvarez, they came for him. Like they say, but he agreed to give up his mandatory position and did not force Stevenson to face him. That sounds like, yo, if you don't force it, you don't want it. You know what I mean?
You're not being impartial here because again, I have went after Alvarez for this in a partial way, just like everyone else, like the
How,
WBC is like Stevenson. But you're the only one giving Stevenson a pass here.
but how,
He's been
bro?
holding it up himself. He's the
Okay,
guy
the
who's been getting
order.
many exemptions for this.
Damn,
He's the one been going out there. No,
did he
hold up.
duck Badu Jack?
No, no,
Did
no,
he
no,
duck
no,
Badu Jack?
no,
Yes
no.
or
We're not
no?
talking about Banu Jack. We're talking
We
about
got
the fact
to
that
because that's the order. That's the ordered
you're not
fight.
listening.
Badu
You're not
Jack is
listening.
the ordered fight.
You're not listening. Hold on. I don't want to argue because I got my lady here. The same thing is this. He's the one that's going out there and said that there's no money in the fight. He doesn't see Keen on taking this fight either. Okay. So with that said, he's got to be equally responsible because if he really believes he could beat the guy, despite this fiasco, he should have forced the fight. He should have said, "I got to get this guy out the way," but he's not doing that. He showed no signs of doing it. So that's why he want that Badu Jack fight because there's bigger money involved. Which is, I see what he's doing. I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to cash out at the later stages of his career. That's what he's trying to do.
Well, he said
So
unify at the later stage. He's
who
mentioned
believes him?
unifying.
Unifying.
Who cares?
He ain't talking about Materbiev. He
Look,
ain't talking about Materbiev.
He tried to fight two other belt holders before, and they didn't fight him. But what I'm
Materbiev.
looking at,
He ain't fight
maybe
Materbiev.
Beterbiev gets his stuff together and they can make that fight. That'll be beautiful. But until then,
Yeah.
there's no need to speculate. Badu Jack is the order. Adonis Stevenson has done no wrong to Badu Jack. Later Alvarez is his own man. He is the one who took his ball and went home.
Same thing with Stevenson.
Hold on. But then when the WBC does whatever investigation, I don't think it's no investigation because they've already basically kind of told
Well,
TVA.
let me ask you
They
this.
hold on. They told TVA already that they basically gonna take a later Alvarez's position. That's what they already kind of told him, and she tweeted about it. But at the same time, I think they know if they investigate that they're gonna see that this man was given deals, and that's probably already been said to them. He's been given deals and he just rather do something else with his time. So in that case, Stevenson did try to get him out the way, and he wasn't trying to fight. And he wasn't ranked anywhere else. So if he gives up his WB position, how's he's not ranked in any other sanctioned body. He wasn't last month. I don't know if he is
Well,
today,
I
but
gotta
he
have
was.
something to ask you because this still doesn't make any sense, even by what you're saying. Because after all this talk, why hasn't Bottle Jack and Donna Stevenson been confirmed yet? It's been over a week now. This should be easy. Why
I
hasn't
don't know.
that been confirmed?
I don't know about easy because they not primary. They not the primary concern of the network. They
Dude,
got
it's an
They
inside
got
fight.
Wilder. Or,
Is
no,
it
or
is that a house fight?
Joshua.
Is
No,
it a
no,
house fight?
But do they have excuse me? Do they have priority over Joshua and Wilder at this point? They had thrown Wilder into stardom because of Joshua has reigned supreme.
Oh Lord, here we
Come
go.
on, man. That's
All
like
right.
saying some clowns would have priority over Floyd and Manny if they was fighting on HBO and they was trying to set a September date. Once they get Joshua out the way, Wilder is out the way. He got announced earlier today or yesterday.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
because Deontay Wilder is a bit of a bigger draw than Stevenson. I
I
hate
don't
to
know.
say that.
I don't know
He
if it's the
is.
draw. I
He
think it's
is.
because
Yes.
Joshua has lit the division on fire, and that's what a super
Not just
fight
because
is.
no, it's not just because of Anthony Joshua. It's also Deontay Wilder's a
I
bit of a
don't
contributor
know.
too.
I don't know about that, bro.
He's a.
All that, look,
I'm not saying he's a big draw. What I'm saying
yeah.
is he's a contributor
But
to that.
at the same time, if he didn't have any end game, Wilder's end game, if he acts right, is getting in the ring with if he didn't have that end game, I don't think they.
Well, first of all, I don't understand that because first of all, if you're talking about it's because Wilder is the priority why they haven't announced the fight yet. We already got fights announced for May, like Canelo and Triple
Yeah,
G, for example.
that's HBO. That's
Don't
HBO.
matter. Don't
It's not
matter.
Showtime.
Doesn't matter. They can still announce a fight for a later date. I don't understand why they haven't
No.
announced it
They're
yet.
gonna want to put it in a later date. They said they want to put it in March. So let's see if they. I mean, I'm waiting like you, but it makes sense. What makes sense is they're. I don't like it, but it's the truth. Wilder Ortiz. It's a good fight, so I don't mind it being made. Wilder Ortiz. Joshua is gonna get his date, but what they're doing is they playing for an end game, and maybe they'll get bit in the ass because Joshua might sign HBO and they never get that end game. But at the end of the day, I think when Joshua's chips fall. I think when Wilder's chips they've already fallen, and maybe Hurd and Lara, I think somewhere around there the announcement should be ready. But at the end of the
Well,
day,
I have
they
to
not
agree.
priority.
I have to agree with 68 on this one because this whole fiasco with the WBC with these four fighters make no sense and it's very confusing. All I gotta say
Makes a
is
lot of
that
sense.
I'm about to get off here for a second, but I gotta say because I've been here long enough, you just came on, but I gotta say this. I do not understand when you sanction a fight, you order an immediate purse bid without giving any side no time to negotiate, which makes no sense at all. And the fact that you're ordering this man to fight another eliminator when he has to put up his mandatory stats on the line, which makes no sense to me. That right there, it's very you got to question that. Okay, and at the same time, it is his undoing because he's the one who allowed the step aside to go ahead. If he didn't allow it, we wouldn't be in this mess. So all I gotta say is
No,
that
but they knew that they were supposed to be negotiating. Alexander Vazik
why
and
was a purse bid
Alvarez.
called? Why was a purse bid called 24 hours when they announced it?
Maybe. I mean, at the same time, maybe one promoter tell yo, we ain't gonna be able to do anything, and say maybe okay,
Well,
that's
there's no
cool.
record. There's no record of that. I understand that, but there's no
I don't
record
know,
of
but either way, look, it's a purse bid. You have look, they ordering you. They're tired of your shit. That's what it is. Dan. They're telling him, I'm tired of your crap. Like this is the third mandatory that isn't fighting Adonis Stevenson. And he's given each one of them an ultimatum somehow to fight. So if you think you get to, get these pats on the back after you done fell out the fight too many times, no, they saying, yo, this
that.
what you gonna do.
Yeah, this
And
is
and,
third.
and, and
Yeah,
what's gonna be the right thing to do is to remove
guess
him
what?
from the
Guess
ranking.
what? Guess what? He won't be removed because they don't have no legal right to remove him based off the situation.
The man just ducked the mandated fight. We'll
No, he
see.
did.
You know,
No, that's not a mandated fight.
I hope they go to court. I hope they go to court, and then I hope everybody. I hope. I kind of don't. I hope just a later Alvarez takes his ball and go home like he wanted to do.
Well, they
You
have
know.
no grounds. They don't have no grounds to sue him because he will win.
And
So
then you know what else? You know what else might come behind? Every fighter pointing to a later Alvarez. So he's damages. He's damages. He's holding me up. He keeps
so is
taking side to
Stevenson.
do this, and I'm ready to fight for eliminators and the champions. Damages can be put on him too. So
Yeah,
he
so is
gotta watch how
Stevenson.
he plays it.
So is Stevenson too. He's holding it up as well.
Hey,
So
all I know is Stevenson isn't the one that ducked an elimination bout, and that's just the facts. Like this guy is the one that people look. When Vazik went to the WBC complaining about he didn't complain, the champion ain't fighting me. It's like the mandatory holding everybody else up. That's why they said you fight the mandatory, and he was down for it. But later Alvarez holding up WBC
well,
175 pound rankings.
you're talking about years ago. We're talking about now. He wasn't down for it now because he went out and told everybody there's no money for that fight. That's why he wants him out of
Man,
that
so
fight.
what? But
I mean, so what?
all right, so
Okay, thank you.
what
So what?
outdoes? Tell me which one outdoes it. Which one outdoes it?
I'm gonna say one.
Doesn't actually offering an offer say, okay, never mind, leave that
Yeah,
statement
man.
alone. It's an offer out there, right or wrong. I see you on mute, but guys, I feel like you can say what you want, but actions speak louder than words. You send an offer, and then it's like, let's do this, and the boy didn't want to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
WB
You said yeah. You saying you said it. You're making actions, but you haven't pressed on it, just like Alvarez hasn't pressed on making that fight either. So they both
sending a
haven't pressed.
contract is impressive. Okay, so I
But
need to know
that's
what
fine.
do you
Well,
mean
wait,
by
hold up.
press?
First of
What
all,
do you mean by press?
you say he sent the contract, great, but he still knows that he's still the mandatory, and the WBC is not going to remove him. So I got to get that fight out the way. He hasn't been pressing on
No,
doing that.
no, it's the WBC's job to now
It's not.
do some level of ruling to say, if you don't
Well,
want to be the
it ain't just.
mandatory,
It ain't just a
well,
no. It
you
ain't
do
just.
understand, like you
No,
said,
no, don't
their
interrupt.
rules are at
Don't.
their ain't their
Well,
rules at their discretion. Their
yeah,
rules at their discretion. This may
Stevenson knew
bring
that
about
too.
rule changes.
He knew
Yeah,
that too. He knew that
this may
too.
bring
He
about
should have
rule
pressed.
changes.
He should have pressed to get that fight out the
I
way.
think two things are
He
gonna
did.
happen.
He didn't press it. Neither did Alvarez, and neither did the
I,
WBC. They
I
all did
think
not
two
press
things are
it.
going to happen in this whole situation. You're gonna see rule changes. This is one thing. You're gonna see rule changes. It's gonna be
Yeah.
similar to the IBF. That if you're taking step aside money, if you're not taking the fight, you're going to be moved. That's the best thing. And
Well,
secondly,
I gotta get off this. I gotta
you're
get
going to
off
see a
this.
later Alvarez moved. That's the
All right.
best thing to do.
Well, that ain't gonna happen. And all I gotta say is, wake me up and let me know when Stevenson's fighting Jack because it's strange to me that we even haven't got an announcement for that fight yet to be made. It's strange. So after the week that WBC had said they're gonna sanction it, that there's no venue been locked in. We have no date. So that to me is weird. But anyways, I'll make it real quick. I know Ben just got on here. What's up, Ben?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much. We're just chopping it up on some things here. But let me just go down. I'm about to get off here for a second because I know I've been here long enough because I got to get out, go out and eat. But I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you to chime in on Wilder versus Ortiz. What do you think about that fight, man? That's finally
I
confirmed.
think Wilder.
March 3rd.
I think Wilder wins easy. I think
Yeah.
Ortiz is at the end of his line. I think he's a very talented fighter, very skillful, but I think he's older than what he says he is. Much older, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think he's at the end of his line. He struggled against the Whyte-Rhino. He looked crazy against Malik Scott. He's just not for that small pocket, that 1 year where he really established himself as a threat. That's pretty much the only pocket he's had looking like an elite level fighter, in my opinion. I think Wilder beats him easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I won't think it's easy. I definitely think it'd be a competitive fight, but I expect Wilder to win that fight too. I'd probably get him out late, probably in the 11th round, maybe 12. So, hey, Ben, though, we degree in the chat. It's like, well, see how he handles Ortiz. See how he handles Ortiz. I'm not sure if he's asking specifically how does he handle him. I think that's what he's asking you.
Well, specifically, what I would do. Now, what Wilder's going to do, who knows what Wilder's going to do. But what I would do if I ever had Wilder's dimensions and his talent, I would just my game plan would be to keep him on the end of my jab,
right,
and try to walk him into a right hand. That would be my game plan. I'll point him because Ortiz has already showed you that he struggles with movement.
Right.
So circle him both ways, move around the ring, keep him on the end of your jab, and try to walk him into something. And if you don't walk him into something, if you play your cards right, you should be outpointing him by the time the final bell goes.
Yeah, Ortiz got the longer reach though, don't he, or the same kind of reach?
I think it's the
same. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Same. Like Wilder got a hell of a fight on his hands, man. If he spin away from that right hand and he able to land that right hook in the process of doing it, man, this shit could look like Billy Joe versus old boy the other night, man. It really could. Like Wilder got a hell of a fight. Like, if he ain't winning by knockout, I don't think he can pull up the points unless he get a lot of knockdowns. But you know, normally if he get knocked down, somebody going out because his power real. But I think Ortiz got the upper hand, man. He see more of the orthodox fighters all the time. Wilder really ain't fighting no southpaws, a note like that that's good. Yeah, Ortiz don't make many mistakes. He economical as hell too.
To be fair though, Ortiz hasn't fought anyone on that Abdul Wilder either. Yes, he fought Malik Scott, who's awkward, who could be slippery. But Wilder is a different dude. Okay, he's a much he's a much powerful guy than Scott. He can hit a lot harder. Obviously, he's got a longer reach. He's far more athletic than Malik Scott. So Ortiz is definitely going to have a lot to handle too. So both fighters are going to go in. And they're going to have a lot to handle.
I don't think Wilder has. I'm not being funny here. Like Malik Scott got a bit of a boxing brain. Like he's a smart boxer. Something wrong with him, of course, but he's talented himself. Like Malik Scott's a huge letdown, but this man know how to use the ring probably better than most heavyweights. Probably after Tyson Fury. Got a good defense in a way. He no bum unless he wants to be a bum, but you know that's just his mindset, man. I think Wilder, if you tell him to beat Malik Scott, you can get him beat. Like you can't beat Malik Scott. No, I don't think he can. Like he ain't as fluid as Malik Scott.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, good points, but it is what it is. But I just think it's a 50-50 fight. I might lean towards Wilder. But again, Ortiz definitely, I can see him winning the fight. So it's 50-50 to me, man. But I wouldn't say the fight is easy. I definitely agree. I think the fight will be hard for both men, in my opinion.
Well, I'm a big fan of Ortiz. Like, I like him as a fighter, but watching him fight the Whyte-Rhino, which I watched a few times recently, and watching him fight Malik Scott, like, bro, he looks. I mean, styles makes fights. We all know that, but he looked really. He just looked old. He looked old in those fights, man.
But he was finding the target. See, with Rhino, he was at least finding a target. Like, it wasn't like he couldn't pull the trigger or nothing. It was just Rhino was being durable. Rhino was kind of being negative in a way. He was still finding them and clipping them and doing what he wanted to do. He just didn't get him out of there. But I would say 60-40 Ortiz, because I think Wilder can only win by knockout, and I think Ortiz could knock him out and win a decision. So I'm on
60-40. That's
60-40.
That's like a significant underdog for Wilder, man. You really don't like Wilder, man.
No, it's just. I'm just breaking down the fight. No, I really got no problem. I wish Wilder well, man. I just want him to get his act together so he can be a better representative of the South to me. So I clown him until he gets right. But I mean, I've been a fan of him. But the truth of the matter is, I think
Yeah,
Ortiz
what
is
is
a
that
better
about, man?
fighter,
I
man.
think Wilder's a great representative of himself in the South. I mean, the man came from nothing. He was working at what fucking FedEx and some shit.
Yeah, in that way,
His daughter was sick, and
personally,
he
I get
made
what
it
you're saying.
happen. Yeah, I mean, he made
As
it
a
happen. Take
person,
care of his daughter. I don't see
as a
anything that
person,
man
I
does
get
that's
that. I
I
get that
don't
as a
understand.
person. As a person, I get that. I ain't never done a Charlie Z and fuck your daughter and all. Nah, I respect all of that. Just in the fighter stance, it's like it's a different level. He reached a different level where it's something else. We looking at him, and I want to see more. And he just being held to that fighter standard, and I don't think he's living up to it. And a bad representative of sports for the South right now.
Wait, wait,
Like
wait, hold up. How is he a bad representative of the South?
I mean,
Elaborate,
you just
elaborate,
saw.
elaborate, brother. What
I
does that
mean,
mean? What does that mean?
what is the record? 39-0. What is it?
Yeah, with 38 KOs. What about it?
Yeah, and it's just nobody on it, man. Like it's not good enough, and it's taking too long. You're a bronze medalist, man. You gotta come out. You gotta come out. You gotta get better quicker. Look at these dudes, man. They put a freshman in there to win the national championship for Alabama. That's what the South is about, man.
Come on, man.
Bruh, no,
You can't compare football to boxing,
Yeah,
bro. The
you
guy
can.
started
Yeah, you
boxing.
can.
No, you can't, because the first time the man put on boxing gloves was when he won a bronze medal 6 months later. You can't
I mean,
compare that. That freshman.
it's a
No, no, no,
lot
no,
of
no. Let me
guys.
explain to
It's
you,
a
because
lot
I
of
played
guys.
football my whole life. No, 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 bro. I played
It's a
football my
lot
whole
of
life.
guys that don't even
That's
be
the
playing
difference.
high school ball and
That
they finally get
quarterback,
on team.
nah, 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 nah. That quarterback's been
I get
playing
what you're
quarterback
saying.
his whole life.
For him
no, let him
alone,
talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. Go ahead, Ben. Ben, go ahead, man. Finish up, man. Go ahead.
Because I play football, so I know what it is, man. You build fundamentals. You build muscle memory from playing. I started playing when I was 4 years old. So it's nothing new. I mean, it's a new level. The levels are different, but the fundamentals and the basics that have been drilled in your head are there. Wilder didn't have that from a kid. Okay, like a lot of these guys, like even Joshua, I give him credit too. He started late as well. He started before Wilder, but he started late as well. That's not something you could just pick up. Like, you should be praising the man for fucking picking up boxing and winning a fucking bronze medal 6 months later. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
That's
excellent.
I agree. I agree. I mean, this is a man who represented the South in the Olympics and won a bronze. How could
mhm,
he be? How could he be an embarrassment to the South by doing that? Uh,
but you gotta go further, man. Look, you gotta go further. You've been holding the belt. People just be clowning you and calling it Sophia and shit, and nobody kind of respects it, man. Nah, man. Look, I get it. Some people start early. Not every college football player is blessed to play Pop One. And so many stories out there where guys ain't start, and they look, and like you said with Joshua in boxing today, he started late and he's sitting way more on the top of the world, and his people don't feel no sense of embarrassment or no sense of lack of accomplishment with him. Look, this is his chance. This is chance. If the man get knocked out in this fight, y'all
But
gotta
T, you're the
admit.
only one that feels embarrassed by Wilder.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
feel
no.
embarrassed by Wilder. I'm
Let me
proud
go
of
there.
him.
Let me go there. Let me go there.
So
Let me
who's
go there. Let me go there. Hold on. If this man gets knocked out in this fight, understand everything that was said, yo, bum squat, all that shit is just
I
And who's
find
saying that? And who's saying that? And who's saying that?
like
A whole bunch of fucking Europeans are saying that because
I mean,
they're Joshua fans and they don't want to see Joshua get knocked on his fucking ass.
I
That's who's
mean,
saying that. Most
that's
Americans are
cool. It
not
doesn't
hating on
matter.
Wilder, bro. You're few and
But
far
it
between
doesn't
when it comes
matter
to
who's
people hating
saying
on
it. It's
Wilder.
capable
That's
of being
you.
said.
That's you.
It's
No, 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 no,
capable.
no. You need to own it, T. You need to own it.
I'm gonna own it.
You're one
I'm
of
gonna
the
say
very
it too
few
because it's true.
Americans are fair enough. You're one of the very few Americans that hate on Wilder the way you do.
I don't
Now
hate
it's
the man.
understandable. It's
Listen.
understandable
I
coming from
don't hate the
Europeans,
man.
bro, because they got a champion of their own. But you look crazy out here hating on
Do
an
you know I would
American.
nail Joshua to the wall if Joshua was doing the thing and Wilder was the man over here and Joshua was I don't care where he at. He will get nailed to the wall. But the role is reversed. It's not that way. It's my guy. The guy that he really ain't my guy. It's Deontay Wilder. And so he got to get nailed to the wall saying, bro, but look, no matter what I say, this is his opportunity. I don't think he wins the fight, but if he does, props to him. It looks way better. on his resume than it does not being on his resume. Now he need to get in line and go for Joshua the best way he can, or whoever win those unified titles. I
Bruh,
don't
All right,
hate him.
all right.
I got tons of
This
respect for the
topic, Dan,
sport.
number love for you. This topic gives me a fucking headache, man. I'll holler at you on the next thing. Your
All
brothers
right,
have a good
brother.
time.
All right, brother. No doubt, no doubt. Now I gotta say this, man. I just noticed something.
Go
You
ahead.
seem to be you seem to be ridiculing Waddle's title run as a heavyweight. All right, that's cool. He hasn't been he hasn't been quite the most, he's been a little bit disappointing as a champion by some people. I get that. Okay, I said it myself. What I find very hypocritical on your end is that you get on Wilder for his level of opposition, but you don't get on Stevenson. And Stevenson has been a longer champion than Wilder. Wilder has been more active than Stevenson, but yet you don't ridicule Stevenson. So I find it hypocritical for you to do that. You go after Wilder a lot for his lack of opposition, but not Stevenson.
Man,
In fact,
yeah.
hold up. When it comes to this mandatory situation with Stavern, I remember this as well. You ridicule Wilder for not fighting Stavern as his mandatory, when in fact he tried to make that fight happen, and the TV networks wouldn't sign on it. Yeah, yes, you did. Yes,
I say he needs to. I say he needs to get him out the way. Fuck it, get him out the way. He's not
Exactly.
going. He wanted his spot. So don't compare. See, that's what
Yes,
I do.
yeah.
I say don't compare Alvarez.
Why not?
These are my quotes before. Do not compare Alvarez to guys like Stavern and Spence, who
Why
would
not?
because they wanted their shots. This dude sits around and doesn't want it. Secondly, let me answer your first thing. I got 4 words: fighter of the year. That is what
That's
is done.
that's 5 years ago.
Whoa! I don't give a damn. It's been 10, and he's still active, and he looks like he could still do the same thing today.
So you want to criticize Stevenson because he was fired?
Let me tell you. Whoa! Let me tell you something. I think his name is Marcellus. He's a heavyweight fighting at the TNT gym. His name is Marcellus something. He says something so true, but people don't like it, but it's true. He said, "Look, in this game, really, what you got to do today. This is what you got to do.
Before you ramble off, you're not answering the question.
I am
No.
answering the question.
Hold up. I'm gonna ask you again. Give me a simple
Stevenson
answer.
has proved himself and has tried to fight the best.
Hold up.
It's a huge difference. I've explained this so much. It's a huge difference.
No. Hold up. First of all, when you said that, Wilder tried the same thing, and look what happened. But yet you still ridicule him. And the fact is, you won't ridicule Stevenson for the same exact reason as being hypocritical.
What, Dan? They're not. Dan, first and foremost, one guy's the lineal champion of his division. One guy has never even tried to fight the guy that was the man. That's the facts. One guy has beaten. Hold on. One guy has beaten 6 top 10 fighters. All right, and has been ducked by hold on, let me see. Is it 3? Three different champions. He has been ducked by 3 different champions, 3 different mandatories. When Wilder gets there, then I will let you know.
Wilder was
let me listen. I root for Deontay Wilder. I am rooting for him. But if he cannot do it, then that's on him. I don't have to.
Hold up. Wilder tried to make a fight with Joseph Parker. Allegedly, that didn't happen. Okay. Alexander Povetkin.
Can he pay him the most money? Can he pay him the most money?
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. Hold up. Wilder tried to get the fight done with Povetkin. We saw what happened with Povetkin. Povetkin got caught. Ortiz got caught. Ortiz got caught initially, but now that fight's getting made. But this is the same situation that you're trying to give Adonis Stevenson a pass for with his situation. But yet you ridicule Wilder for this. So this is my problem here.
I'm proud of Wilder for this fight. This is the turn. He needs to now prove himself. He even says it. Well, I'm ready. He said, no, all I can tell you is Stevenson already won the fight of the year. Already knocked out a lineal champion with 1 punch. Already.
Yeah, he was shot.
Hold on. Okay. Whether you like it or not, or anybody here, all I can tell you is his name has been on every pound for pound list, and he hasn't been beaten since then. Now, Wilder's, and when his name was on the pound for pound list, nobody argued and questioned it. Wilder is
who does he beat after Jack
Real quick. Wilder's on the pound for pound list right now on ESPN. You know how many people have clowned that list? They are not the same fighter. You cannot take what on that man resume.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me say this.
Got to let another fighter. Wilder can be greater any day.
Wait. What pound for pound list is Stevenson on besides yours where people clown?
Okay, look. All I can ask you is this: when he was on there and you wasn't clowning, has he lost since then? And when you say no,
Wait, hold
then
Wait,
let it
wait,
go.
wait, hold up. Who has he fought that was on the level of Chad Dawson? Even though Chad Dawson was shot and coming off a knockout, lost Andre Ward.
He fought top
No,
10
answer
from
the question.
Farah.
Who was
He
on the
fought top.
no? Wait, hold up. On the caliber of Chad
They
Dawson, who was shot.
they took that man off the list when he
You,
beat Nigel from Farah. I'm just telling you the truth. He
you're
beat
not
Nigel
answering the
from Farah
question.
and they took him off the
But
list.
you're not answering the question. But it's
They didn't
rhetorical
even
anyway.
care. They didn't even care. They didn't even care who he
It's a
was fighting
rhetorical
next.
question that
They
I
took
asked
him
you.
off. Dan, they took him off the list when he beat top 10 from Farah. He would then go. He would
Lord.
then go on to stop Chavez. Then go on to beat Cleverly. I can't
took him
help.
off the list.
Yo, I support.
Dude, they took him off.
You cannot take his accomplishments from him, Dan. You can't do it. You can't do it.
First of all, they took him off the list because he fought once a year, every 2 years, just about. The guy has not fought any top. He hasn't. No, not lying.
He got took off the list after the Fanfare fight.
Dude, he's fought in obscurity for the last 5 years.
Dan, when was he took off the list?
Bad,
in what
dude.
fight? In what fight was he took off the list?
He's fought in obscurity so bad to the point they even stripped his ring title away from him.
Okay. Oh, Dan.
No. I'm gonna finish.
You're saying you know when they took him off the list. I want you to tell me when they took him off the list.
I will answer the question if you let me finish. You'll shut the fuck up, okay? I don't mean to go there, but just shut up, please. All right. I'm telling you what happened, okay? They took him off the list because he's not been active enough.
On what fight? Oh,
Jesus
which
Christ.
fight? Which
Stop
fight?
Listening. Can you just be quiet? Be quiet.
Which fight, Dan? Which fight?
Which fight? Okay, first of
all. Which fight did he get took off the list in? Which one?
I think after the Sakotsky fight, he got removed.
Wrong.
Was the second? He was off.
Wrong. After Fanfare, after he beat the top 10 light heavyweight, he got removed from a list. That's what they done to him.
What pound for pound list?
Each and every one of them, he was removed from for whatever reason. He had not fought once a year. He would go on to fight again that year. After he beat Fanfare, he got taken off the list. He had beaten 4 top 10 light heavyweights in a row. All right, and that's not cool.
2014, okay. What fights happened in 2014?
I think that was 2014, 15-1. It doesn't matter. All I know that's
what big fights happened in 2014?
You don't take a guy out. Okay, so if that's the case, we're going to take Terrence Crawford off after he beats.
No, you're not answering the question.
No, you're not going to do that.
No, what big fights happened in 2014? Gambo and Crawford was a big fight in 2014. That could be a reason why he was taken off. Because Crawford got his first big win. That's what, and he got wobbled in the fight, and he got beat for the. Okay, he beat a pound for pound fighter who was undefeated. He beat a pound for pound fighter that was undefeated. You're not going to interrupt. He beat a pound for pound fighter who was undefeated, and that was a big win. And he did put on a string of other wins against top 10 guys like Raymond Beltran and Ricky Burns, who was a champion. Crawford took that title away from him, but that's why he got on it. That's why I can see why Stevenson got removed because of Crawford. That's a possibility. But I'm telling you,
all I know is this. You cannot take a guy's accomplishments and get him to other people who have ducked him and don't have. Look, Sergey, hold on. Sergey Kovalev did not have a better Look, he went. Like I'll bring what boxing beats around.
You're being a hypocrite because what you're doing.
No. Hold on. You won't let me finish. I'll let you finish.
I'll let you finish, but I gotta say
you're going to talk about Cleverly, and I'm not even going.
No, I'm not going to talk about Cleverly.
Talk about Bernard Hopkins.
You're being a hypocrite. I'm not going into that. I'm not going to go into that because you're saying
you're wrong. Because you're wrong. The man didn't lose, and they ripped him off.
Adonis Stevenson the benefit of doubt because tough fighters.
Who has even given him a tough fight? Who's even giving him a tough fight?
You're giving Adonis Stevenson the benefit of doubt because top fighters.
I'm saying beat him. I don't have to give nobody the benefit of the doubt. Either they gonna win or they gonna lose. I'm telling you to beat them.
You're not being rational. You're not being rational. You're giving Adonis Stevenson a pass for fighters ducking him, but yet you don't do that for Wilder. That is hypocrisy.
Sergey Kovalev did not duck Deontay Wilder.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Listen
You're being a hypocrite.
Listen to him. Sergey Kovalev did not duck Deontay Wilder, but no, Hopkins didn't. You're talking about one man Povetkin. You're talking about one man.
Ortiz and Joseph Parker allegedly did too.
Joseph Parker's fighting the man of the division. That's who he's fighting.
Before he
He's fighting
did
the
that.
man. Yo,
Before he did
check
that.
this
No,
out.
no, 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 no. Before he
No.
did that.
You're wrong because
Before he did that.
you about to get hit with this uppercut. Joseph Parker went for the biggest payday in the division
Oh,
and the
Lord.
toughest fight in the division. The Deontay Wilder, look, Adonis Stevenson brought the biggest.
Dude, you're not listening. Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder was they were negotiating to fight in 2017, early 2017.
Okay,
Parker,
what
you're not
did
listening.
Wilder bring to the table? What did Wilder bring to
Who
the
did
table?
Parker? No, who did Parker
He said,
fight?
I don't want it.
Who did Parker fight when those talks went down?
He fighting Anthony Joshua now. Is all I can tell you.
You're not listening because you're gonna get caught. He fought Huey Fury. So how the fuck you gonna tell me that he went?
He fought a mandatory. Oh, he fought a mandatory.
Yeah, he fought a mandatory.
Okay. You know who else Doug Wilder? Huey Fury did. But at the end of the day, who are they?
Okay, but you still. My point is that you're not giving Wilder the benefit of the doubt, but you're giving. No, Jesus Christ, you're not.
I don't give Golovkin the benefit of the doubt because the people that ducked him are nobodies to me.
Because
that's what I'm telling you.
You hate Golovkin and you hate Wilder.
I hate Golovkin now. Okay, see, it's convenient to say the word hate instead of breaking down and actually what you think about fighters.
Well, I'm proving you're being a hypocrite because you're not giving those fighters the benefit of the doubt. But
Dan, let me ask you. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right here and I'm gonna ask you.
You are.
Wasn't Bernard Hopkins on the pound for pound list and Sergey Kovalev? Yes or no?
I'm not going to answer that question because
you better not because I'm going to ask you then. I'm then going to ask you where was Felix Stern at?
No. First of all, I'm trying to get you to understand that you're having a double standard.
No. I'm looking at the quality of fighter that ducked you. I'm not gonna just say Amir Imam ducked you and that makes you pound for pound. No, the quality of fighter. It's the quality of fighter.
You're not giving Wilder the benefit of the doubt. You ridicule him.
Wilder has
the fight.
Wilder has the fight to change everything for him.
Dude, you're a Stevenson fanboy. You're a fanboy because you won't ridicule Stevenson for the same reasons that you're ridiculing Wilder.
I'm a fanboy because pound for pound fighters ducked you.
He's not a pound for pound fighter. Stevenson's not a pound for pound fighter.
Let me ask you once again. Was he on the list and has he lost since? In the story,
5 years ago.
Has he lost? Oh, that makes it even better. He hasn't lost in 5 fucking years. Wow.
Wilder's on the pound for pound list, and you still don't respect him. Wait a minute, hold up. Wilder's on the pound for pound list, so you still don't respect him. What the fuck is that all about?
I'm just telling you, man. A lot of these commercial lists is bullshit. When they get it right, I'll tell you. If you think Wilder's a pound for pound fighter, I'll give you a hand clap and I'll let you go on about your day. But I'm just going to tell you, he has the right tools to get it done now. All right. Did Joseph Parker look? Joseph Parker ain't Sergey Kovalev. Joseph Parker ain't Bernard Hopkins. He ain't Andre Ward. All right. He is Joseph Parker, and he went for the biggest. He's kind of selling his belt in a way. I mean, is he credible? Yeah, he's credible. But like I said, he ain't the best of the best. It's just like Golovkin saying Felix Stern ducked me. So, like, you acting like that's going to make your career if he fought you or not. It's not going to do enough, man. Wilder should have, listen to me, Wilder should have been fighting the lineal champion. I would forever be praising that. You don't want to accept that he didn't do that.
Oh, Lord.
And other guys did
with this lineal talk again. First of all, you put too much stock into that because of Adonis Stevenson's a lineal champion.
And you take too much stock out of it just for some lineal champion that you don't like.
Number 2, you are not. See, you're being a hypocrite because, again, I'm trying to get you to answer the questions. Why are you giving Wilder so much heat for the same reasons that you will not give Adonis Stevenson the same exact heat? For the same exact reasons.
What heat is he getting? Did you see my last video on Wilder? I'm proud the fight's happening. What heat? I'm good. It's his turn to now prove that he does it. That it's time to now prove that my heat that I should have been giving him should have always been air conditioned. It's his time to prove
has been dunked by top fighters himself, but yet you still ridicule him, and yet the same thing you blame other top fighters for ducking speed. See, this is the hypocrisy what I'm talking about. You're not being partial. It seems like you're so in bed with one particular fighter. It's okay to look up for one fighter, but you got
at the time of their fight, Wilder's fought one top 10 fighter. I cannot congratulate that. That is not memorable. That is not good. He done it. He won. Now he gets another one here. Let's get it. Let's get it. What is the cry about?
So what?
And guess what? And just like I hope Wilder can get that good opponent, and he does get. I hope Stevenson.
It doesn't matter. The fact is,
I'm here for the best fight.
No,
I'm here for the best fight.
Your argument is that a lot of top fighters ducked Adonis Stevenson. I'm going to give him a pass for that because it's not his fault. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, it's always his fault.
Okay, who's the top fighter? Whoa. Damn, who is the top fighter? When you are saying top fighter, I need you to answer this.
One of the top fighters. Okay,
See, I'm not talking about division. See, that's my same argument with Golovkin, but I hate him too, is what you say, and I truly don't. I hate some of his fans because they're retards, in my opinion. Now, when you say shit like Sergio Martinez with one leg ducked me, like people was gonna kind of hold that against you.
He did.
And then and that's not good in the first. Then you say 140-pound Miguel Cotto ducked me. Dude, do you know how many other people he was ducking in the process of ducking you? Like Kovalev was not ducking other people. He was actually being looked at as one of the best in the sport. You gotta take all of that in. If it's overthinking,
so you mean that Kovalev was the top? So you mean that are you saying that Kovalev actually was the number one light heavyweight?
Kovalev was the number 2. He was the number 3 pound for pound guy on list.
So he's the number 1 light heavyweight.
No, okay, no, I did not say that. Right. You put in words. I never said that, and it's not even funny that you're doing that. I never said. Well, actually, he was number 1, and Adonis was lineal. That's the kind of way they do it. But
yeah.
Exactly. But I understand what you're trying to do. He was under Adonis's wing, and he ducked him, and that's 3 mandatories. Hold on, Dan, let me ask you this: Would you like his resume better if and this is simple to answer. Would you like Adonis's resume better if his mandatories fought him like Pascal would be there, Kovalev would be there, and a later Alvarez? What's that? That's his 10th top 10 opponent. Hey, yo, he can't help.
I like how you started this conversation about Adonis Stevenson's record.
He can't help.
I really like that you stirred us away from answering the fact on your double standards. I like that you're doing it. Yes, you do.
If Joshua ducks Deontay Wilder, if Joshua flat out ducks Deontay Wilder, I look at him the same way. It just has to happen. I take it into account. I take it into account. You can't be out here ducking people.
You still won't give Wilder the benefit of the doubt. You still find a way to hate on him and call him a disgrace of the South.
No. I find a way to push the man toward what really needs.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you do, bro. But the fact is funny. It's funny is because you won't hold Adonis.
I mean, I think that needs to stop, man. I kind of feel like that needs to stop. Like if I'm telling the truth about the situation,
but if I'm telling the truth about it's the same situation with Wilder, but you won't give him a pass. You won't give him a pass, just like you do with Stevenson.
What I'm telling you is the pound for pound fight. If I could tell you that Deontay Wilder was dubbed by pound for pound fighters,
dude, pound for pound has nothing to do with your hypocrisy, bro. It has nothing to do with your hypocrisy. You're just trying to find a way to get out of the situation. That's
okay. So what you're telling me is, what you're telling me is, if Jeff Horn ducks somebody, I should be like, yo, that's the same as Kovalev. No, it's not the same, bro. It's not.
It doesn't matter if it's the same. It's the principle,
well, to me, it is. I'm like I said, it's my pound for pound list. I'm just letting you question me on it because I believe in it. If you want to say it's subjective, it's whatever. That's who I think the best fighters in the world are. I think they prove it.
You're not making sense. Pound for pound has nothing to do with your double standard. I'm trying to get you to understand that. What I'm trying to get is an answer. Why won't you?
No, but you're questioning me because you said Wilder. You're questioning me because you said I don't rate Wilder.
No, don't interrupt me.
Because you said I don't rate Wilder the same way I rate Stevenson.
No, I did not say that. I'm asking you, why won't you hold Stevenson to the same standards that for Wilder, like you're doing for Wilder? In the same situation,
to fight the best. You telling me to fight the best? That's what I'm holding him to. My channel has been promoting Stevenson Jackson.
Wilder is doing that now. He's fighting Ortiz. And after that, hold up.
Ain't I happy? Am I complaining?
Well, you're happy, but you're still criticizing Wilder?
No, I think he loses the fight. I think if he wins it, it's great for him. But at the end of the day, it's just like anybody else, it's more work to be done. Let's hope they can do it. And if he's getting ducked in the process, hold on. Look, let me tell you something. The promoter of Anthony Joshua has come out and said, "Yo, we'll fight Wilder. We'll do this. We're gonna do this. We can get the split." You know what Kathy Duva said about Adonis Stevenson, the number 1 and number 2? Oh, we're gonna fight the younger guys because
let me ask
you can't even, dog. This man is being blindsided.
No, you just say that Wilder needs to do some more work after Ortiz. I agree.
I hope he can, and I hope
So
Stevenson
that-
can too.
so-
Then you don't have a
So
double
thank
standard here.
you. So now you've admitted Stevenson got to
I
do some
hope
more
no,
work.
it's not
Yeah,
that
thank you.
it's
just
not
said
that.
it. You just
No,
said it. Yeah,
no,
you just
but
said it.
you're
You
taking it out
just
of
said it.
context. All
No,
right,
I'm not taking it out
that
of
way,
context.
if you want to win that way, bro, look, I get it.
No. You just said it right there. It came out of
Look,
your mouth.
no, but
You just admitted that
every
Stevenson.
fighter, if they're going to be active,
Nah,
they
you
need
ain't
to
get out
do
of this.
work.
You're not
I
getting
want them doing work. But if
You're
you're
not-
denying them, man,
You're
can I
not
talk?
getting out of this. You're not getting out of this, bro. You just
Man,
said.
childish, man. That shit childish, bro.
No, it ain't childish. It's a fact.
I mean, you just take it. You
just
lost,
said,
bro.
no,
You
just
lost,
said
man.
that. No, you just said that Stevenson got to do some more work too after his fight with Bio Jack.
I want to see more work. Why wouldn't I want to see more work? I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the sport.
Yeah, okay.
But I would say this: if Stevenson fights Badu Jack and then he, if let's say he knocks him out, they both get a knockout in the 4th round.
Yeah, well,
hold on. Career-wise, I'm still more impressed with Adonis Stevenson, but I still want them to both continue to do work, just like I want any.
If that's the case, T, then why don't you fucking shit on and criticize Superman Stevenson the way you do Wilder?
Exactly.
That's what he's asking me. I don't think it's not room for it when he comes.
It's not room for you. It's not room for it. Listen, I'm not here to fucking shit on Superman Stevenson, one of my favorite fighters, but. You sitting here talking about there's no room for it, but the guy fought Fonfara twice.
Who could he fight? Who was he supposed to fight? Who was asking?
He hasn't fought the Cuban yet.
Who was
paying step aside money for how many years?
What Cuban?
You mean the Colombian?
About Alvarez.
Colombian, whatever the fuck he is. The black Hispanic dude. Like, bro, there's plenty of things you can let me speak. There's plenty of things you can criticize Adonis Stevenson for, but you choose not to. You pick and choose your criticisms, bro.
No, you got to do your homework.
This is obvious.
Don't want to fight. The WBC is telling you Eleider Alvarez has not wanted the fight. And I cannot criticize the champion. If Deontay Wilder mandatory started to duck him left and right, back and center, guess what,
listen,
man?
Bro, Deontay Wilder holds the same belt. Wilder holds the same belt Superman Stevenson holds, bro. Same belt. But everything that comes out of your mouth towards Deontay Wilder is negativity.
Linares holds that same belt.
It's negativity.
Am I supposed to treat them the same?
Well, what do you say about Jorge Linares? You don't bring him up. It's Wilder.
Yeah, because he needs to do something. He needs to quit struggling with nobody.
Keep it a buck and say you're a hypocrite, bro. Well, you're a hypocrite. I'm just keeping it real. You're a hypocrite, bro.
Yeah, I just funny though.
Bills don't make the fight.
No. You know what's funny though, because you just admitted right now that Stevenson's got to do more work too, but yet you're criticizing Wilder for not having enough work.
I'm a fan. Why wouldn't I want to see these guys do work?
You can't twist it,
What
bro.
kind of argument is that? Of course, if I could get Wilder to fight Joshua 3 times in a row. Or because that division really ain't that good. Let's say he fights Ortiz and I can snap my finger and fight Joshua 3 times in a row. I'm going to
the heavyweight division, the light heavyweight division is like, potato, man. We're talking about just overall talent.
I mean, if I get Kovalev, Stevenson fighting each other 3 times in a row, I'm snapping my fingers right now. Yes, I want to see everybody do shit. I want to see Jared Hurd, Lara, and after Jared Hurd, Lara, I want to see the winner fight Charlo. I'm not out here giving passes. I want to see the fight.
Yeah, you are.
Get the point of this.
You all over the place.
Too many people coming out the low place. The low place don't want to see nothing but somebody get their ass
whooped. In the same situation you give Stevenson a pass for, Deontay Wilder's in a similar situation, but you ridicule him. This is a big problem right here, and this is a big double standard that me and Ben are pointing out right now. Same situation when he had mandatory deduct him. When he had a champion who didn't make a deal to fight him, he opted to fight his other mandatory, which he didn't really have to. So it's like, dude, you got to be consistent and be fair here. If you're going to give Stevenson a pass, you got to give Wilder the pass for the same situation.
Dude, do you know his mandatory was Bermain Stavern that came in basically if the heavyweights had a weight limit, if the heavyweights had a weight limit, that motherfucker would have been overweight, out of shape, and fined, okay? That was his mandatory. Adonis Stevenson's mandatories have been top 3 light heavyweights each fucking time, and they ducked them, bro. This shit matters, man. Like, you fight to get in position, then you tell the champ, "Oh, fuck you." Like, damn. Like, this is why I hold the belt, for you could bring me the competition. They can come to me, and it doesn't happen.
Was Stavern rated in the top 10, even though he was the mandatory for that?
I don't know. I don't know if he was a top 10 heavyweight, but all I know is, dog, come on, man. If that's what a top 10 heavyweight is, shit, that division need to grow the fuck up. I mean, come on, man.
So the light heavyweights. So the light heavyweight division.
Nah, man. Light heavyweight is hot, bro. Light heavyweight. Light heavyweight hot.
No. It's got potential.
The heavyweight division.
No, it's got potential.
Bro, the heavyweight division has some bivels
it's got potential, but the guys need to start fighting each other. That's the difference between
Barrera Bivol.
That's a good fight. It's got to do more than that.
Wait, and it's kind of funny because it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we're barely getting light heavyweight fights that matter. We're barely getting heavyweight fights that matter.
Well, the heavyweight fights are happening in March. That's what my hangout's about. We got 3 of them that's about to be confirmed now. Wilder-Ortiz March 3rd, Whyte versus Browne March 24th, Joshua versus Parker is going to be around March as well. So there's going to be a lot of heavyweight fights that's going to happen, man. So a lot of good fights happening around that time. So that definitely would give a good shot in the arm for the heavyweight division. So
but it doesn't make it any more talented though. That's the point. It just does it. I mean, if Whyte beats, who you say Whyte, Browne and Whyte? Come on, man.
What fight in the light heavyweight division will be bigger than Ortiz versus Wilder?
What do you mean bigger? Like the money?
No, not bigger as far as money. As far as the magnitude of the fight, the excitement level of it. What fight in light heavyweight division?
I can name tons of those that I would go with over there because I feel like Wilder ain't proving anything to me.
No.
Like these guys look better. Personally for me, I would say Stevenson, Kovalev automatically. I would say Kovalev versus what's his damn name? What's his name? Other champion, fucking up his name. Beterbiev. I would say Kovalev, Beterbiev, Stevenson if they unify. I think it's tons of fights bigger. Every unification, I think is better to me personally. Just from my personal standpoint.
As far as the magnitude is concerned, you saying those fights would be bigger as far as the magnitude?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by magnitude, so I'm just going to put it in my placement. I understand what magnitude means, but I don't it's so many ways to use that. For me personally, I would go with every unification. I mean, no disrespect to them, but if Wilder, one of them would have done something, I'm like, yo, I like what both of them have done, or I look at them as a top prospect, and I look at a guy like a guy that can take over, I probably would go with Wilder-Ortiz, but
What about Wilder versus Joshua?
No, now I kind of would casually probably get more sucked into Wilder versus Joshua, mainly more because Joshua. But
so basically,
I mean, I'm not about a casual fan shit sometime either.
So there's no light heavyweight fight that can top Wilder versus Joshua.
I must say though, if you put Kovalev Stevenson, I think it's a better fight. I think it's a a more even fight.
Well, I don't see that fight happening, but if it does,
maybe not. Maybe it does, maybe it don't. I think all of them
with that you would have to have like a hypothetical in there. Like say hypothetically, Beterbiev goes in there and knocks Kovalev's fucking head off, and then Beterbiev and Stevenson fight each other. Then maybe you would have something that reaches that same magnitude. But as it stands, Kovalev's existence there and still being a top fighter takes some of the wind out of the sails of the division.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good
assessment. I think it's talented, and a lot of Eastern European guys, and I think
because the difference with that is Wilder hasn't been exposed yet, Joshua hasn't been exposed yet, Parker hasn't been exposed yet. I mean, they haven't been.
Wilder hasn't been exposed.
They haven't taken a fucking crucial stoppage loss.
They have.
Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But when you say hasn't been exposed, I think Wilder's showing a lot of chinks. Like Vazek, he's showing some chinks, but he also showed, I got better.
Too. You can show weaknesses, but they still haven't lost. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
but I got no double standard. Then I feel like Wilder got way more to do. Well, I just feel like, I mean, win a Fighter of the Year award. Like that's okay. If you want to even it up, win one. Like Adonis can invite that boy over his house and be like, look on that wall right there, young man. That's just facts. Like if no matter how long, that's just facts. So when Wilder can do that, probably ain't got that much more to catch up to. Maybe he starts this year. If he knocks Ortiz out, say he beats Ortiz in a competitive fight, he comes back and knocks Ortiz out, maybe he wins Fight of the Year, depending on what everybody else does. It's not that far, not that far-fetched. Let's get it popping.
So basically, you won't criticize Stevenson. Wait. So you won't criticize Stevenson for the same standards you criticize Wilder because
I won't get
No, because Wilder didn't win Fight of the Year. Is that why?
Dan. No, I'm just telling you. I'm looking at accolades, something that fighters can be based on. But what I want to tell you right here is when Adonis Stevenson got some fault, and I feel like, yo, that's his fault. I will get in that nigga ass. That's done. I don't, man.
No, you won't, bro. No, you
No,
won't.
you
Yeah, all
won't.
right,
Thank
all
you.
right,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
No, you won't. No,
All
you
right.
won't.
If you think there's some Thunderdome Triple G shit over here, man, y'all sadly mistaken.
Yeah, you are. You on that? You on that shit too?
I
Like
got
that.
hold on. I got in Javier Fortuna ass. I got in Rancis Bartholomew ass. I like them fighters. There ain't nobody above the wrath of YouTube. Fuck that. You know.
You're lying.
Look,
You're lying.
Bro,
Look,
dude, T,
later
you
on,
sound
Rancis
like
did
T.
the
You're from down south somewhere. I know you're not specifically from Alabama, you said, but you're from down south somewhere, and you go out of your way to disrespect Deontay Wilder, dog. Out of your fucking way.
Exactly.
I clown him, but at the same time, I got respect for Wilder, and I want him to be successful. I do it because the people that got behind him have got on my last fucking nerves in a way that's ridiculous. They telling
All
this
right, well,
man,
then just say that. Then please just say that, because I understand what you're saying about them motherfuckers, because I agree with you. But don't act like it's all fucking because that's how you feel.
He's taking that narrative and like, yo, they gassed me up. I'm going to be at the Shell station. No, hell no, man. Get your ass away from that Shell station. Go get it. And I can, man. I have always been a fan of Wilder. I have always said that I think the man could be the greatest heavyweight ever. I think he got the potential to do it. And then I see the man taking this Pacquiao.
You're a funny dude, man. You're one or two extremes. Either Wilder's a fucking piece of shit, can't do nothing, or he's the greatest ever. I don't understand you.
Man, he need to get together. I'm not no in between ass nigga. I'm not. Ain't nobody running no train on me. I'm not in between this.
You know what's funny? It's funny. I know. Also, say funny. No. You know, I find funny about this too, is that when Wilder has been vehemently calling out Anthony Joshua, even though I don't agree with some of his methods, you criticize him for doing that. But when Stevenson does it to Andre Ward, you don't criticize him for doing that.
Hold on, make your point. Like
my point is that Deontay Wilder is trying to go after the number one heavyweight in the boxing right now. He's trying to go after him, but yet you criticize him for doing that. But when Don Stevenson tried to do that to Andre Ward, you criticize Andre Ward.
First and foremost,
what's the difference? Why?
First and foremost, you said it yourself. You don't agree with the way, like I had no problem with Adonis Stevenson putting his belt on his shoulder, letting everybody know, yo, it's another heavyweight champion out here, and I want to fight the winner. And I also know he's wanted to fight Andre Ward since the Chad Dawson fight.
Adonis Stevenson had no name, so
Edwin Rodriguez had no name, but we're not gonna go there. Okay.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Andre Ward pulled it away.
Hold on. You don't got to defend Ward. I'm not going to him. But to me, like you said, with Wilder, the boy he's man. Like
you're telling me AJ is not basically doing the equivalent to that, because I don't care what nobody's trying to sell me. Anthony Joshua at this point looks fucking shook.
Oh, I don't,
because he wants to fight everybody but Wilder. He makes excuses. Eddie Hearn comes out, makes excuses for him. Any other fighter, people would say, yo, he's shook, he's ducking. But for Anthony Joshua, for some reason, he gets a pass. I'm not giving him no fucking pass 2018. If he don't fight Wilder in 2018, he's a bitch.
So if Wilder keeps saying 50-50, I'm not,
man, listen, dog, that's called negotiations. You say, just like, no, listen, bro. Just like, the Samoan motherfucker, whatever the fuck he is, Joseph Parker said 50-50. He settled for what, 35% or some shit? You don't start negotiations by saying, hey, I'm only worth 20%. But you don't do that.
Yeah, okay.
You start high, and you work your way to the actual number. That's how negotiations go, dog. Come on now, let's be realistic.
You work your way.
That's what I'm saying. Wilder starting high by saying he wants 50-50.
His team,
you're not understanding what
he got a grown ass team. All they got to do is go do that, and I respect that. But they are failing to do that.
You're not understanding how negotiations work, fam. You don't lowball yourself. You say what you want, and then you settle for negotiations work, fam. Like if I'm coming to you and I got a brick of cocaine, I'm like, T, I don't want to sell this shit. You need to give me 80% of this back, and you keep 20%, and you do all the work. You ain't gonna take 20%. You gonna be like, yo, I need at least 40. And we gonna work our way back to the number. I don't sell drugs either, but I'm just using that as an analogy.
Let's say this: the man, look, he has a team, and he has went out and he's yo. This about legacy. It looks like a publicity.
Wait, before EJ pops out of the woodworks and says I'm a drug dealer, I do not sell drugs, and I do not condone anybody selling.
Like a publicity stunt. It looks more publicity like yo. I need to start getting some people at my fights. What's a good way to do it? Joshua. I mean, shit, it is what it is. If you can pull it off, you can pull it off. But to me, bruh, it's another way to publicity stunt too, and it's called right hand, left hook, 10 count. And I that's how I agree with it in boxing.
No, I don't have no hatred for Joshua, but I honestly, the British fans, some of the British fans, not the people we deal with, but I'm like some of these dudes.
They some real niggas.
No, they're not real. They're some dick suckers.
They riding for theirs.
Some real
they
dick
riding
suckers.
for theirs. They riding for theirs. They see that, man. I respect it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. If you want to do it like that, but what I'm saying is they act like this dude has no flaws. That's his gift. He's not. He is not.
Let me say something about that. It's cool to be riding with your fighter, but at the same time, when guys ride for Wilder, you criticize them, low plays. What's the problem with why you have a double standard on that?
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Huh? No?
Yeah, you should shut him down with that one because he can't respond to that, bro. Because it's hypocritical.
I had to go give me some gushers, man. Look, I heard part of it.
Okay.
I heard part of it.
Well,
so you saying Wilder should have rabid fans for doing partially nothing?
No. What Dan is saying is Dan is saying this. You praise the fucking Joshua fans for riding with Joshua, calling them real niggas.
Yeah, because he done it right. Because he did it right.
But when anybody supports Wilder, okay. But when anybody supports Wilder, you criticize him for supporting him.
Yeah, because Wilder. I mean,
and we have you on videotape doing it. So don't.
We supposed to support the people that's doing it right. I don't feel like Wilder is.
Wilder's trying to do it right, but you still criticize him. That's a problem.
No, now the fight is signed. And I have not criticized him. I just told you I don't think he's gonna win the fight.
You are criticizing him, bro. You're doing it right now. You've been doing it for the last hour now.
No, I'm just defending my
position. He's been doing it for the. Yeah, this gonna make a mashup. Yeah, I'm gonna take some time off, man.
I've stood with Wilder. I'm gonna
take some time off. I'm gonna make a team mashup of his criticisms of Wilder, bro. We can get an hour worth of him shitting on Wilder, bro. Within the last easy.
Man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. But all I got is
you're a funny dude, man. You're a funny dude, too.
I don't look. He got a chance, man. I'm just defending where I've been with him. I like this fight. It's only a day old. Maybe he win it. Maybe he don't.
Did Nauta get to speak? What's Nauta's opinion? I don't want to run Dan's show, but did Nauta you get to speak because you seem kind of quiet?
I just barely came on right before you did or something, or right after you did. But but I mean, like my thoughts on like the whole situation with Wilder or Parker or what?
Well,
Joe, let Dan do it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this now. We're just this basically this is between me and Ben Low, please. That's our conversation. But I gotta ask you this. Let me just shift it a little bit.
Sure.
Carl Frampton, Nonito Donaire, we know that's about scheduled to be in Belfast, but we also learned that Amir Khan be fighting on that same day. What you think about that on Eddie Hearn? You think that fight will You think the Khan fight will overshadow Donaire and Frampton?
I'm not sure, man, because I mean, from what I've always heard, Khan isn't really liked like that in the UK.
Right.
You know, a lot of people really don't like his ass. So, like, whereas Frampton has generally been pretty beloved, in spite of some of the I guess the inconsistent performances that he's shown. So, I really don't think so. I mean, especially going to be in Ireland, or is it going to be?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Belfast, Ireland. That's where they have a fight.
Yeah. He ain't gonna get overshadowed by Khan over there, man. That's not gonna happen.
All right. Well, we'll see on that one.
And it's and I think it's gonna be a better fight.
And Frampton didn't win that last.
They match Khan up against. They're gonna match up Khan up against some Dorito or something to just smash up real easy.
Yeah. But go ahead, Ben. You want to say something, brother?
No, I was just saying that I don't think Frampton won his last fight, man.
That's I thought he lost. I thought he lost that fight. I thought he lost that fight. He looked bad.
I think Nonito can knock him out, man. I think that left hook can land and knock his ass out.
He can, but the problem with Nonito is he waits and he waits and he waits and he doesn't set that shit up. He waits for you to do the setting up for him to land that left hook.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
bro, I
get that.
can't.
But Frampton,
I can't ride with
Frampton man be
Nonito, man.
naked.
Nonito, I've single-handedly seen Nonito get outboxed by Darchinian too many times before it knocked Darchinian. I know he knocked Darchinian out before T
Yeah,
Dub
but
say he
Darchinian
ended
was
up knocking
whooping his
out. Yes.
ass, and Darchinian was beating his
Ass whipped by Darchinian every
Yeah.
time until he starched him.
Yeah, because the stupid thing that Vic did was he hit him with an uppercut, and then he like posed in front of him like, yeah, and then he ate fucking clean left hook and got knocked the fuck out.
But Vic Darchinian was actually belonged in that weight class in bantamweight. If he actually belonged in that weight class, he wasn't coming up so many weight classes. He'd have knocked Nonito out, man.
They fought at like either super bantam or featherweight. It was like
Yeah.
120
Oh, what? The last fight was at featherweight?
I can't remember.
It was
off
at
the top of my head.
122?
It was either 122 or 126. I can't remember off the top of my head because it wasn't for a title.
And you know Vic doesn't belong at those weights. He doesn't belong at those fucking weights.
Darchinian was at 22 with Donnell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if they'd have fought at 115, and they were both 115, fucking Donnell would have got knocked the fuck out, though. The way the punches he
You know what was actually really amusing about that whole situation is even though Donnell knocked Darchinian out in the first fight, Darchinian fought the better competition after that fight.
Nah, it was 20. It was 26 after Rigo, I think.
Yeah, okay, it was 26 then because I know it was.
Yeah,
they fought a featherweight. Wow, featherweight.
Yeah.
Featherweight. No, there's no business Darchinian being no fucking featherweight.
Man, Nonito got them longer arms, man.
To be fair to Darchinian though, he had some skills. I mean, maybe he was outboxing the shit out of Jesus Cuellar, but Cuellar outweighed him by like fuck.
I remember that videotape when he was Y'all remember that videotape where he was fucking going through the motions with Ronda Rousey? That shit was hilarious, bro. And people were talking about she could knock out male boxers. I was watching that show like, yo, this.
There was a couple of times where it's like he just kind of love tapped her. Where like if that was an actual,
you could tell. You could tell he was playing with her. If he would have hit her with the real shit, she'd have been dead.
All right. Well, now I've got another couple more things I want to ask you about. I'm sure you saw the Isaac Davi and Cesar Juarez fight. And I know that stoppage is a bit controversial to some degree, but I looked at the fight. I looked at the stoppage. I mean, let's be honest. You and I probably both could agree that Juarez was getting beaten up in there, even though that fight only lasted 5 rounds. And when Tony Weeks stopped the fight, obviously Juarez protested the stoppage, but his corner didn't protest it. They like, look, you was getting beat up anyway, so it doesn't look like you were going to win the fight. So Juarez is now claiming that he needs a rematch with Darby, and Darby's like, look, I don't need to fight you now. I don't need you now, so I'm moving on.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, but not immediately. Like to me, like Juarez can work his way back into it.
I agree. I mean, he was getting beat up. He wasn't really in the fight.
I wouldn't say that it wasn't in the fight. I thought he was giving him some trouble in the second and third round, actually with his jab, funny enough, even though that's not even a punch that he typically throws very much.
Right.
But the thing about Juarez is, I mean, he gets hurt, he gets rocked every fight. That's just what happens to him. He got rocked the shit like crazy against Nonito. He got rocked like crazy against Pagada, and then he came back and knocked Pagada out.
He's a tough. He's tough.
I guess that's probably what the strategy would have been against Dogboy. But I mean, the way it was going, most likely he was going to lose. He was most likely going to lose that fight. So even though I didn't like the stoppage per se, ultimately to me it kind of robs us of seeing, because I would have liked to seen a little bit more of what he's got. I would have liked to see him fight through a little bit more adversity for what Juarez was going to give him.
Right.
I mean, and finish it more conclusively, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with your points. I mean, I mean, the rematch. Yeah, we probably will see it down the road. We just got to see. Juarez has got to climb himself back.
There's too many other good opponents out there. I mean, for one, I mean, if Magdaleno's able to still make the weight, which I kind of don't think that he is, that's a great fight. Tomoki Kameda is there. That's a great fight. Marlon Zapales, the former bantamweight champion, is a great fight. There's a few guys that are really, really good opponents.
Yeah.
That'll really test him, and I think a lot further than Juarez did.
Yeah. Dobby did show he could fight very well off the back foot, so that's something we didn't really accustomed to see him doing. So he showed he could do that. I mean, he could slip the punches very well. He's he's got the goods, man. He's got the goods. So
He reminded me a little bit of like Tim Bradley when Bradley would paw with his jab and everything. Like
yeah,
with the way that he fought against Nick Campbell and the way that he fought against like
Junior Winter.
Yeah.
Junior Winter.
And,
yeah.
Well, and even at times like in the first fight against Pacquiao, the way that he was kind of pawing it out like that and just kind of taking his time and picking his spots against Juarez. He wasn't getting too middle and
right.
getting the good timing off.
Yeah. What about last one before we move on to something else? What you call now? Anyway, I know we all talked last time about Inoue moving up to bantamweight, and the rumor mill was circulated that he wanted nothing to do with Solana and Tete, but it did come out about a week ago that Inoue moving up to bantamweight in the WBO rankings will automatically more likely get him in line to shot with Tete. And he also said that he actually want to fight Tete, and obviously Tete said he want to fight Inoue. So what do you think about that?
That's an incredible fight, man.
Yeah.
Talk about magnitude of a fight that compares to like a heavyweight clash of what you were talking about earlier, Wilder Joshua shit. That's what that is. Because not only can they both box their asses off, but they can both punch their asses off. So that's tremendous skills combined with tremendous power and lit up at any time. That's a fantastic fight.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be a fantastic fight. It's good to see it anyway saying he wants to fight that guy. But I do disagree with him going up too soon, man. I think he's still got more to prove at Superfly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm like, dude, you got plenty of fights still to be made at Superfly. I still believe.
And I wouldn't even necessarily say it's too soon. I mean, the whole thing is he's been wanting to move up to bantamweight for like a year now. He only stayed around at Superfly because he was trying to get that money fight with Gonzalez. And now that Gonzalez isn't what he was before that, the way that he sees it is and Estrada are going to fight each other, and then the winner might wind up having to fight fucking Quadras again or something. Yeah. He's not gonna wait around waiting for everybody to kind of get everything in order. He's already been turned down by Calify multiple times, got turned down by Jordan Akaz multiple times, and Akaz is with top rank now, so how that whole thing goes. So.
Well, I mean, but there was plenty of other fights that could be made. I mean, I think
he doesn't want to put his shit on hold.
Well, do you think the Estrada and Kudras were not money fights? I mean, those were pretty big money, pretty decent money fights as around the side. Weren't they money fights?
But the two of them had his team offered them to him, and those were fights that I said that I really wish that they would have. Up until before the first Superfly card got announced the way that it was.
Yeah.
I would have loved those fights. And so. If somebody says like, "Hey, Inoue avoided Estrada," I'll say, maybe he did. I think HBO was very intent on never fucking mentioning Estrada's name whatsoever.
Well, I would say this though. Ever since I brought up Inoue, there's guys in the comment section say, "Hey, man, Inoue's ducking the wolves at 115." I'm not sure you agree with that, but. I mean, I don't want to say the word ducking because it gets.
If they really want the fight, Suisa Kid is a big motherfucker for super flyweight. He's no small man, so he could move right along with him.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but he is a champion. And
Estrada not so much. I mean, Estrada I think is tops out at super flyweight.
Yeah, that's true. But again, Suisa Kid is a champion. He is rated one of the pound for pound best, and that is a money fight. And anyway, could have gone after that, and that's one thing we do have to criticize him for.
He could have. Well, he could have waited to go after that.
I disagree. Inoue ain't got no criticism.
Inoue never had an opportunity to fight Suisa Kid. There was never an opening for Inoue to fight Suisa Kid. There was for Estrada and there was for Quadras, but not Suisa Kid.
Well, let me ask you this, Lo. Since you say that, you say that anyway, you don't have to criticize Inoue to moving up in weight. Why you criticize? Wait, hold up, man. Oh, is that you talking? Oh, that's somebody else. All right, look, man. You said that Inoue doesn't deserve to be criticized for moving up in weight, which is cool. Every fighter needs to move up and weight to make challenges. It's to some point. That's cool. But why you criticize Rigondeaux for doing that to moving up to fight Lomachenko?
Because he ain't proved shit at the weight in between. Like that. You don't need to be doing that today. He did. He won the title. He won the title up there.
He has. I mean, you know what? He did knock out the guy that was the man at the division when he knocked him out in November.
Wait, but anyway, hold on.
Narvaez is the mandatory for Zlani Tete. So, I mean,
well, here's the
Tete's
thing.
fighting Inoue's leftovers next.
I see what you're saying, but the thing is,
I
Well,
like it,
anyway,
man. He
anyway,
ain't
no,
waiting.
no, no,
They
no.
want some.
Anyway,
They can come up 3 pounds. He ain't waiting. Like he ain't
anyway.
waiting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Anyway,
what's the
was
name
a
in
light.
Kosh? And Kosh was dunking him. His man just sitting there making
Oh, here we go
excuses as to
again.
why. No, you can't be doing that. You can't. Look,
No,
look, you
anyway,
can't
you're not.
wait.
No,
You
I
can't
can't do this.
wait.
I can't.
Wait,
Anyway,
if you got 3 pounds, you
anyway,
ain't gotta wait.
no,
You
you're
got
not
three
listening to
pounds,
me.
you ain't gotta wait. That boy a big boy too,
Anyway,
man.
first of all, NUA was at light flyweight. Okay, when he beat Sarata Katam, in his one of his defenses at light flyweight for his WBC title, he moved up 2 weight classes. Automatically got a shot at Omar Navarez, who's a champion. All right, so Rigondeaux, same situation with Lomachenko. So how are you gonna
Navarez
tell
is
me?
40 years
Wait,
old.
wait, wait, no, no, no. You just said that Rigondeaux didn't prove nothing to get a shot at 130 against Lomachenko, but yet NUA moved up 2 weight classes and got me this shot at the champion.
That boy was
No,
40 years
no,
old. No,
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 no, no,
Rigo
no.
got the shot too. You acting like Rigo didn't get the shot. Rigo just got
Exactly.
his ass whooped. There's a
Exactly.
difference.
But you
Ain't my
criticize him
fault.
for that. You criticize him for that, but not
Because
NUA.
he shouldn't have done. He should have ran his division. He didn't have no intentions of staying there. He didn't have no intentions of being anywhere else but 22. This man had intentions to keep going up. You gotta let him do it. I mean, it's a different situation. Rigondeaux 38. This kid is what? How old is Inoue? Come on, man, young man.
24.
He fought a 40-year-old.
I get that, but you're not. I
Out.
get that, but it's a double standard. You're criticizing one fighter.
It needs to be a double standard. They ain't the same people. It really ain't a
No
double
matter.
standard.
It is a double standard. You criticize a fighter for moving up 2 weight classes while the other fighter did the same thing.
Yeah, I just wish Rigondeaux had an advantage, and maybe we just saw a competitive fight.
Well, he had arm reach advantage. Sometimes that's sometimes that's always not always the best advantage.
Yeah, I mean, wingspan doesn't really reach either. Armpit
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
wingspan are two different things.
That man had an advantage.
Yeah, one advantage, but it doesn't always mean
advantage to get his ass whooped. That's what he had. A whole lot of advantages to get his ass whooped, and that's what you saw happen, man.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's a double standard. You're criticizing a fighter for one thing while you're not doing the same thing for the other fighter. But the fact
I give you advantage. He had the hunger advantage.
No, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on from it. But anyway,
I'm trying to give you an advantage. He had the hunger. He had the hunger advantage.
All right. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. But all I gotta say is that Anyway, look, it's good that it's refreshing that he wants to take on the best at bantamweight, which is a good thing. But I still think he should have at least try to take on those other guys at 115.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps, yeah, but I mean, like I've said before, and Neri are every bit as dangerous as anybody at 115.
Yep.
Right. Well, Neri was on PEDs. He was on PEDs.
And even then, that makes him more dangerous because guess what? He was on PEDs, but he still has that title. He still has the WBC belt. So apparently, he can eat all the fucking steroids.
I think Yamanaga whooped Francisco ass. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Didn't Neri move up to super bantamweight? He moved up, didn't he?
No. He's rematching Yamanaka in March. He's his last fight was above the weight fight. That's why he's rated at super bantamweight because he fought Arthur Villanueva at 120.
Oh, okay. So it was a catch weight. It was a catch weight, but he's still the champ. Okay.
Right.
Good clear that up.
Yeah. He has to rematch Yamanaka, but he's gonna beat Yamanaka, man. Yamanaka can't beat him.
All right. Well,
just psychologically speaking, off of the beating that he gave Yamanaka, I can't see Shinsuke reversing that.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's fair enough argument.
He fucked him up, then.
So yeah, one more thing. Quigg versus what's his name versus Oscar Valdez. Yeah. What do you think?
That's actually a pretty interesting fight because the thing is Quigg has really good punch resistance at the very least, even though he's not like a great boxer and a high work rate guy, nothing like that. Right. But he comes forward with that high guard and just he just keeps coming at you, even though he doesn't do shit for the first 7 rounds or whatever. So, that could potentially wear on Valdez because Valdez kind of reminds me of James DeGale in that fashion where it's like he gasses out in the late rounds because he has all this nervous energy and he's trying to do too much at one time, when he could simply be outboxing a guy or be setting him up to knock him out as opposed to moving around and then I'm going to do this and I'm going to move this direction. He's moving 5 different directions for no fucking reason. And then he's throwing these wide ass hooks like he's trying to freaking kill somebody with every shot. So it's not like there's any mix. Okay, I'm going to throw this one light and then I'm going to throw this next one heavy. It's all heavy. So it's like you're kind of knowing what to expect. So, right. I think Valdez is probably going to whoop Quigg's ass for the first few rounds. And then if Quigg is able to survive into the later rounds, it's going to get interesting.
Right. All right. I mean, yeah.
I think Quigg can even whoop him in the early rounds. Find success there. But I agree with if he don't, he will be doing it later. I like Quick. Quick underrated, man.
Yeah, he's an underrated fighter, but I don't know. I mean, after that Frampton fight, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. He was getting outclassed in that fight. So even though he did come on late, a little too late. So it is what it is on that. But yeah, a lot of good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff going on. I heard the rumor. Somebody put in the comment section that Amir Khan does have an opponent on the same date that Nito Daenerys might call Frampton, and that's Sammy Vasquez Jr. I'm not sure if that's true. But I have to look it up. If it is Sammy Vasquez, man, Sammy Vasquez definitely need to win because
that's a joke fight. That's a joke fight.
I knew people would go come in and say that. I mean,
the thing is, Khan eats up southpaws, man. He does. He's the southpaw killer. He's the southpaw assassin, man.
Chris Algieri had Khan.
And Amir Khan is a cokehead simp. His wife cheated on him, got the BBC, and he stayed with her. He's a simp. He's a disgrace.
Damn. Yo, Sammy Vasquez might not take the punch well, but if he do, he gonna do that boy like Chris Algieri done him.
I mean, to be fair though, Umar, Khan was doing his own thing, supposedly too.
Yeah, he was, but publicly, dog. When your woman's doing something like that, it makes you look horrible. I don't give a fuck how much you think you was doing. He looked crazy.
That is true. I agree with you ultimately, but I just wanted to toss that in there.
And FYI, his wife is from Staten Island, and I know a few people who know that, bro. Just saying. Yeah. Before she was Mrs. Khan.
Well, let me see. One more thing before I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Julius Odongo has been made he's been in the news as of late. I'm not sure if you guys have been following this. He's been having some promotional disputes. He broke off with Nestor Tobias out in Namibia. He's signed with what's his name, Lou DiBella, on a multi-fight deal, which to me is more likely he's going to be signing with Al Heyman as an advisor. And he's also relocating from Namibia over to Omaha, Nebraska, Terrence Crawford's backyard. So he probably may be training with Crawford's people. So, however, Tobias has come out saying that, wait a minute, Odongo is still on contract with me. So, first of all, that contract that he signed with DeBell is kind of voided. However, Tobias is saying, look, if they reach out to me, we can work something out, meaning that he wants a buyout he wants some buyout money of Odongo's contract. So, I mean, to me, that looks like Odongo is taking his career seriously. He wants to get back in the picture, especially with the 140 division. Now it's kind of open at this point. So what do y'all think about that? What do you think about Julius making his move?
Well, I mean, good luck to him. Try, go get your money. I'm not sure how much of a bang he's gonna make in the division. To be honest, I think there's a couple of guys there that beat him. But I mean, hey, get it while you can.
I hear you.
At 140?
Yeah, 140.
Well, I mean, my thing was when he was served up to be the sacrificial lamb to Terrence Crawford. My thing was this: once you get your ass whipped by Terrence Crawford, you should go out there and try to get that Sergey Lipinets fight that you got out of to unify. Because I think he could beat Lipinets, but besides Lipinets, now that Mikey Garcia has that fight, I don't see him beating Mikey Garcia.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know where he can go at 140 to get a title.
Maybe fight the winner of Relic and
Bartholomew. Yeah. Well, if Relic wins that fight,
I don't think he'll beat Bartholomew.
Yeah, I don't
know who Relic is, so I can't even speak on him.
Yeah, but I think he'll beat Relic though. I think Doggo could beat Relic.
Honestly, I think both of them probably punched a little bit too hard for him because I could see him like outboxing either of them just with the reach and the distance and everything. Yeah. Just his use of range. Barthelemy's not really a rangy guy, even though he's tall.
Yeah.
But both of them can crack. So all they need really is one or two.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Good points. One last thing. I know I'm serious. One last thing I want to talk about. May not be much news. I know. He off the tag out. Okay. I was going to comment on Joe Smith Jr. He's actually going to be returning in May. So Joe Smith has come back. The opponent is yet to be announced. We don't know yet, but he's going to get a tune-up. But do you think he's going to still be? You guys still think he's a player in the light heavyweight division?
I'm sure he'll be used as an opponent on HBO or something. I could see like if Bivol beats Barrera, I could see him fighting Joe Smith next.
Yeah,
I think he is. I think he can. He can be one of those guys. I'm not even calling him a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
the man lost one fucking fight. He ain't no gatekeeper, but He'd be one of those guys, a fan favorite that they bring in for several different fucking opportunities. They'll probably give him like 10 title shots.
Yeah.
Those guys that just keeps getting title shots for no reason. He'll be around, man. He'll make some paper.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask y'all real quickly. I'm about to wrap this up. One more, real seriously, I am. Clarissa Shields and Tori Nelson. Did you guys see that fight last night?
I only saw pieces of it. I haven't got the chance to sit down and watch the whole thing.
I was in jail.
Real?
So I didn't see shit.
Oh really?
I was in Central Bookings. Yeah, I was in jail. That's another story for another day. I will be making the video explain that to you people. But yeah,
from what I saw though, you know, Shields beat Nelson pretty handily, and you know, but it wasn't necessarily like this. Oh, like oh my god, like Shields is so amazing. You know, the thing she does kind of basic stuff in there, and she overwhelms her opponents just with physicality. You're just like brute force, basically.
Right.
And Nelson's old enough to be like her grandmother, so you know she ultimately, you know, youth was gonna win out, regardless of what else happened in there. So
I know it'll never happen, but I really want to see Clarissa Shields be a third white girl from England so badly. I want to see that so badly.
Right.
Against who?
Just like the Indian Christy Martin fucking fought Layla Ali. No business for them two bitches to be fighting, but they did. So why not them two fight?
You talking about Clarissa Shields and Cecilia Brakis? Maybe they do that in catchweight or something.
No, not Cecilia Brakis. I want to see Clarissa Shields fight the white girl from England.
Oh, Christina Hammer. Christina Hammer. Yeah, that would be a good fight.
No, not Christina Hammer. I'm talking about the featherweight, bro. What weight class she fight at? I'm the one
Katie
that fought the. Yeah, Katie Taylor. I want to see Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor would get smashed on.
I can't stand Katie Taylor. Something about that girl bothers me, man.
Well, I mean, some people thought that Jessica McCaskill beat her. We all saw that
she barely
fight.
got past that.
I did. We all watched that together. You guys forced me to watch that bullshit. I thought that girl from Chicago.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I looked at that fight again. I thought Jessica McCaskill won that fight. I thought she did, but barely by that much. Of course, the scorecards did not reflect. I mean, they gave Katie Taylor all the freaking rounds. You got to be kidding me. And the point deduction didn't even reflect on the Georgia judges scorecards. So that right there was like that was home cooking right there, man. I like Katie Taylor, but I mean, you could argue that she won the fight, but you can't tell me she won every single round in that fight or by wide margins. No way else.
It was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. She won't give Jessica McCaskill a rematch because people are asking for that rematch to happen, but I don't think she's going to want to do it. Nah, she ain't going to want to do it after she tried to get her on a 3-week notice. But if she saw how dangerous she was even on a 3-week notice, she's like, I don't know about that. If I give her a rematch, I give her more time to prepare, and I'll probably get knocked out this time. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know it's I'm going to get out and get some dinner. But I thank y'all for coming on. Ben, Nyota, as always, brothers. And Lo, I know the dude he was civil this time, but it is what it is. But shout out to my commenters, Champ Ross in the comment section. Weed Degree. Oh, Weed Degree. All right, man. Black Latin Caesars, Ross, Red Fox in there, Pittsburgh Brewer, Mr. Boxing Today. What's going on, brother? What else we got here? All Boxing. K Black Boxing, Southside Boxing 601. Shout out to you, brothers. All you guys, Tony Yayo. Oh, you got Tony Yayo up in here. Okay. So all you guys, I thank you guys for tuning in. And we out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.